And now for something completely different.
In the daytime, yes. So.
Hey, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. Hi, how you doing? I am the Lavender Lady Diana Clarion, and this is my 1 year anniversary on YouTube. And you're all going to run away saying, "Ah!" And I have some wonderful people here with me tonight. As soon as I turn my microphone back up, because it resets itself every time I scream. Oh man, from let's try this again. A fellow panelist on movie night, Terry Davies, is here with me. And
Yay!
Yay! And Lady Unicorn, who was
Hi!
just finishing with Matt, the Godless Iowan, on another live stream. She's taking one for the team and coming on in to this one, one after another. And someone I haven't talked to live in a heck of a long time, the Atheistic Snail's Journey. Hi, how are you?
I'm getting into trouble. How about you?
That's all I know how to do. Yeah, you and I started about the same time, didn't we, Snail?
Yeah, about the same time. I think you were a little sooner than I was, and then I disappeared off the face of the earth for a couple of months, and now I just kind of vaguely, occasionally put out a video.
Yes. I'll tell you, we got worried when you just went poof.
Yeah, real life got away from me for a bit.
Because
you don't get too far.
We started doing the collaboration when we were responding to Joe.
Yep.
What the heck is his?
I call him
Street
Cleveland
Preacher.
Yes.
And then you disappeared right around the time that we were supposed to go live with our stuff.
Yeah.
And we finally got live, and then you came back for what, about a week? And then all of a sudden you disappeared again. But here you are. Yay, 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 yay. Oh, look at all the people over here. My word, I cannot. Every time I see the side chat, it amazes the heck out of me, all the people who come down here. I want to thank you for coming in and actually, being interested in this stuff. I know, Matt. I know. I don't push myself enough. I don't promote myself enough, but we'll work on it, okay? Yeah, the Godless Iowans here, Mrs. Snarky's here. Brant, you're here. Sweetie, and Jen with one N, pounded in the butt by Jen with one N, coming into the anniversary live stream by Chuck Tingle. Just come on down to my channel and look for the video entitled ASMR Chuck Tingle and S.J. Thomason, if you're wondering about that one. And I'll tell you what, Brent, I really thank you. I thank all of you for caring. I really, really do. It makes a girl feel good. There's just something about somebody wanting to hear what you've got to say, somebody actually liking that you're around. It's something that I just didn't get a chance to grow up with. And it feels good. It really does. It really does. I want to thank you, kids. But while we're here, I mean, you guys here, Terry, Lady Unicorn, Snail, what are you guys up to?
Go ahead, lady.
Well, as I've mentioned repeatedly on like everything lately, I have the whole situation with my housing and I have a fundraiser going trying to get myself out of this to get into a house because this place sucks. It's not really safe. I can't really do anything. So I haven't been doing much because I can't. Because I need to get somewhere better that I can actually not be heard all the way at the other end of the trailer outside.
Yeah, you were just telling me about that, Lady Unicorn. That is totally weird. And over in the side chat, I just popped a link. If you want to go to the GoFundMe for Lady Unicorn to get her and her family into a decent residence from the pile of crap they're in now, by all means, have a look at it, and if you've got $1 or $2, throw it their way, and they'd
Yep,
be very, very appreciative of it. Hang on for a second.
absolutely.
Okay.
I had to
Yeah,
clear my throat there.
yeah, but every little bit does help with it. I mean, even $1 gets $1 closer to the actual goal.
Oh yeah, definitely. Terry, how you doing?
Oh, I'm always doing great. I've got no problems in my situations. I'm just usually just a bit hot for me today to be out in my shed the last couple of days.
Yeah, how
Oh.
is that now? Is it breaking at all?
Well, I had a jumper on yesterday,
Oh
and
wow.
and then today it's back to being warm to hot again. Low 30s, late 20s, sort of 28, 29. So that'll be about 85, 95. Yeah,
Okay.
breaks nearly 100. Yeah, for the last week.
Whew.
Because I saw some photos of motor vehicle tires with pavement dripping off of them. Where
Wow, I haven't seen
Was
that.
Was it pavement or were the tires dripping? Because I
No,
thought more than
it'd be the asphalt, the tar, the stuff.
yeah, it appeared to be the asphalt, and then
Yeah.
the crushed limestone or whatever it is that they use in their. What do you guys use in the roads out there?
Well, it's just tar with a bit of gravel stuff.
Okay,
blue,
okay.
Yeah, it's just like a blue metal, really fine stuff.
Yeah, because
that's rough. Yeah.
it was just dripping off like molasses, and it was a holy hell.
I'll have to look for that.
What amazed me is that the tire itself was not totally destroyed, because I
Yeah.
thought that the synthetic rubber would melt or at least begin to burn at temperatures that would melt asphalt. But
Well, when guys do their burnouts, they can burn the tire off on purpose.
okay,
So it just depends on how good the tire is. As Brantley's saying in the side chat, how's our fire season so far? Well, where we are down south of Sydney in Wollongong, we're closer to the coast, so our temperatures are a little bit lower than inland a bit. So if it's 30 here, it's nearly pushing 40 out west. So
yeah, that's
and
got to be.
our fireplaces are usually down near Melbourne Way in that area, or a bit north of us. We might get fires up past Sydney somewhere or out west. Only where the forest areas are, I suppose, is the main areas.
So you've got your fire season just as California does. Yeah, I've got some friends up and down California, and gods, they tell me some stories. I think it was last year there was some major fire activity in Northern California. A friend of mine in Redding.
Yeah.
And then, well, back when my ex and I were still together, she would talk to her ex, her previous ex from time to time, who lived in San Diego, and was talking about wildfires, just outside his door, where he was actually, had to be, what's the word, evacuated because of that sort of thing.
We haven't had a really bad fire outbreak for the last year or two, I think, as far as I know. Not the ones that burn out towns and stuff. That's been a few years since we've had that. But then again, a lot of our fires, well, some percentage of them are just firebugs. Not just the lightning that can start them.
Now, when you're saying firebug, I think I'm understanding you as people who like to start the fires. Yes, that's what I thought you meant. Yeah, because I remember that term from when I was young, and I hadn't heard it in years.
I'd never heard it, and my first thought was that they had some kind of bug down there that actually started fires.
Because I mean, it's got to be at least 50 years since I've heard that. And yeah, I know I'm dating myself.
I don't know, Diana. I heard that a lot growing up, but I lived in the Midwest, and I think you still hear it occasionally when people talk about arsonists.
Okay, because I
didn't want to use big words for the audience.
Where I grew up, what you call it depends on who you were talking to. Because my ex would call Northeast Ohio the Midwest, but Northeast Ohioans wouldn't necessarily consider themselves part of the Midwest unless you actually pushed them and said, yeah, you're part of the Northwest Territory, okay? Not the Northwest Territory, but what was not territory? There was another word that was used, and I forget what it was, but that whole thing that was split off from Connecticut and everything. Anyway, and oh my word. Okay, Jan, when you say your mom dated a fire marshal, the first thing I thought of was Jim Carrey with Fire Marshal Bill, but that's beside the point.
So over there, you've got the snow and ice that's going to kill you. You've got the tornadoes that can kill you, or you got the fires. You get the fires over in California way that can kill you.
Yeah.
So that's worse than what people say about us. We've got bugs and insects and snakes that can kill us.
The whole world wants to kill people. What are you talking about?
Well, you know how Australia is. I mean, everything there is trying to kill you, and those things that aren't would like to.
Yeah.
But you and I are going to be on movie night later, Terry.
Yeah, that's later on
today. If you are
going
to be showing up, right?
Yeah, I always turn up.
And hey, Evans, how you doing? Evans Murphy, the Faithless Southerner, has just come into the chat. Wonderful, wonderful person. Let me give him a spanner. Yay, 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 yay.
I've got a wrench. I haven't got a spanner.
Oh my! And Snail, you don't have a spanner. What the hell is wrong with me? Okay, oversight
I don't know
corrected.
I don't know how to use the spanner anyway after a year of doing Twitter, so it doesn't matter.
Well, now
Lady Unicorn's going,
Yeah, that's oversight corrected. Now you folks can actually post links.
yeah.
There you go. And I'll tell you, it's amazing. The cold just broke in this neighborhood. For those of you who don't know, I'm in Pittsburgh, and we had a week of horrid temperatures up here. The 0-degree air temperature doesn't sound too bad. The -22 wind chill felt bad.
Oh, I got you beat, Diana. To play one-upmanship.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're in that neighborhood. Yeah, you're
I was
the upper Midwest.
We were -20 to -30 actual temperature for those 2 days. Wind chills -40 to -55. My car literally died.
I tell you, won't stuff like that freeze your battery?
Yeah.
And everything else.
Yep. And I'm too broke to have a garage yet, so.
Oh boy! But boy.
My coworker picked me up and took me to work, and we called the tow truck guy, and he's like, "You safe?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I got priorities first." I'm like, "Sounds great."
Okay, fine. Yeah, take care of the people who are gonna freeze their foo-foos off first.
Yeah.
Thank you, Faithless Southerner. Yeah, it's been a great year. Really quickly, Snail, what you up to? What you got planned? What's coming?
So I did that one short reply to Proofs for God, and I've got 2 other from that same organization cooking. I'm just having my script muse is not working real well, and I'm also contemplating. I've been doing a little research into the foundations of ethics and morality, and because I didn't study it much in college. Biology was much more my thing, and I want to do a video on not empathy being the basis of our morality, but enlightened self-interest made better by empathy. If that makes any sense at all, because I'm not sure it does, which is why I'm doing all this research.
It kind of actually does, really. Enlightened self-interest being promoted by ethics, right?
By empathy and ethics.
Empathy,
yeah.
that's the word I missed.
But empathy using it, because there are people without empathy in our society who do okay, and and you can see how empathy would make everything smoother, but it doesn't feel like it. When you really look at it, and you go, empathy might actually lead to more chaos. That pure empathy creating morality might lead to pure chaos than just like a combination of the two. It's confuzzled in my head, so I'm not explaining it well.
It's coming out all right. It's working.
Yeah, it seems fine. Like, I don't think empathy could be, like, pure empathy would make a good moral system. You can see it pretty easily, because if you have empathy for, like, especially if it's misplaced, you have empathy for the people who are doing the horrific things more than you have for their victims. It's going to create a whole weird scenario.
I had empathy. Where the hell did I put it? I must have misplaced the empathy there. Oh, no. I'm still nowhere as good as Kate. Nowhere as good as Kate at this.
Yeah. I do find myself, like, empathizing with people that most people would think, like, you shouldn't because they're the bad guys. But at the same time, like, if you just purely do that, it would lead to a serious problem.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Man. No, we were talking earlier, because, Snail, you and I started more or less the same time. I think I was a little bit earlier than you. Lady Unicorn, you say you've been on for a couple of years?
I'm getting close to it. In June, it'll be 2 years for me instead of 1.
And then Terry, are you starting a channel now, or are you still thinking
I've got
about
a
it?
channel, but I've got no uploads.
Okay, I was only counting from my first upload, so yeah.
If you go to my channel, you'll see all you'll see in me thing is me likes and stuff. But I haven't figured out how to save a video or something and put it onto the main bit. I haven't worked out how to do all that yet.
I could walk you through it sometime if you wanted.
There are many much people here who are definitely willing to give a hand with that. And I guess that's kind of leading into where I was going. Are there any stories here from the panel about getting started? I mean, the stuff that you had to get. Now, I know we were talking about this in the green room, so hey, that's not fair. But tell the stories again if you want to about the stuff that you had to go through and getting started, and the stuff you had to figure out and worry about and everything else. Because I'll tell you, that's kind of one of the fun things about having a channel is that whole spin-up period where you're not knowing what you're doing, but you're still trying to do it.
And it's getting on that first step of the ladder. Like you know a lot of the other steps beyond that, but it's always those first few steps where you got to initialize what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing I remember was trying to figure out how do you even record the audio, because I'm doing it all on computer. It's like I didn't have a microphone at the time, so I had the computer microphone. I'm like, what programs do you use for this? So you're Google searching, and there's like 14,000 different opinions, and they all disagree. And then you're like, okay, and now I need some kind of video. So how do you edit that? And then you edit the first thing together, and you go to YouTube, and you go, where's the upload button? Because boy, that's not, you can't find that stupid thing either.
Oh, yes, definitely. And they keep moving it and calling it different things every 3 weeks.
Well, they just want to break their whole site. That's like their prime goal, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, even just the first step of even doing a hangout like this even's a bit of a thing I haven't even worked out yet.
As easy as it is, I remember how I was overwhelmed by it. I mean, my unofficial first live stream back in June last year, that was a big thing for me. Just getting that thing up and running. How about you guys?
Except for me.
There you go. Well, let's see. Who in here has been doing very many of the live streams?
I've been in them.
Yeah, I hop in a lot. I've only actually done one myself.
Okay.
I think this is
that was fun.
I think this is live stream number 8 or 10 for me, but I've never run one. I hop into other people.
Oh, my running one, that was fun. So the first like 5-10 minutes of my stream were not actually live because it had been set to share, or not, it had been set to the unlisted instead of public.
Right.
Okay.
Because I have that set for my videos because I tend to schedule them, because I'm like posting them at random hours in the middle of the night. It's not always the best idea.
Right.
So yeah, I had that set, and so they're like, "Why is it not actually live? We're just we're talking to each other, and it says it's live, but it's not on my channel." So that was fun.
Man, I can remember. I still actually use a camera recording program called Cheese. Runs
I've
under
used that.
Linux. Oh, yeah,
Oh
okay.
yeah, yeah.
And people were telling me that Cheese was glitching. The video would stop. It would freeze while the audio went on, and then it would, pick up again. And just trying to get that corrected drove me absolutely crazy. And I don't think I've got it right even yet. It's less than it was, but God, that was so frustrating. When
Yeah.
it's all you can do to get the video recorded in the first place, and people are telling you, okay, well, wait a minute, this isn't working right. No, this isn't. Try the sound over here, and it's like, help!
And of course, a lot of times when you're using Linux stuff, you've got the whole fact that like almost nobody does, because well, you
Yes.
can't get all the games on it, and it's not the big one that everybody knows for video, and it's just like, so nobody uses it except other Linux users, obviously. But like you find so few people in the community in comparison to something like Windows that you can't even just be like, hey, random person, explain this to me, because unless you happen to be using a cross-platform program that they know, they're not going to be able to at all.
What I'm still going through, someday what I'd like to be able to do is something I've tried to do and failed miserably at many times previously. Let's say we have a panel chat like this one. I would like to be able to play a video, and not only would the audience see it, but you guys on the panel would see and hear it, and I would see and hear it, and rather than me
I've
being.
I've seen it done, so it can't be that complicated.
But can't it?
Oh my! Well, yeah. Of course, you see it done every week, as a matter of fact, Terry.
Well,
Because
yeah.
one of the
Well,
things I'd like to do is sort of like what Cy does on movie night, and everybody remember movie night now. That's coming on. Let's see, midnight Eastern tonight. Usually it's on midnight Friday to Saturday, but Cy postponed it a day. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
yeah.
But
But as I'm saying with this live stream now, in your control room,
mhm.
you have the option to share screen, and obviously you'd be playing the video while you're in the background on a different. Well, I only know Windows. I don't know how Linux works. Does it run on like a Win?
I'm pretty sure when somebody's shared a screen before on a Hangout with me, it shows the video, not the audio.
The sound.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I found that out really
And the
early.
only way that person, when they did that, managed to get the audio was to actually have it so loud that their mic was picking it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pure ostentation. That's kind of what I'm after. Is you could call it a picture-in-picture. Because I was doing news things for some of my streams, and what I wanted to do was the way the network news does things, where you've got the anchorman at the desk, and then the clip over her shoulder or his shoulder. And I just could never get that done right. As Terry has said, I know it's done. I know Sci Strike does it every week.
Yeah.
One of the problems is that I run Linux. And it's
Oh,
so
okay.
hard to do something there.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, if you
man.
first find how they're doing it there are all kinds of websites that give like open source alternatives and cross-platform alternatives and
Yeah.
stuff. So
Well, I do it with a lot of people on other live stream hangouts, and we're sharing things, and I hear the sound, and the audience probably hears the sound too. I don't know how that, but I know I hear the sound when they do it, but I don't know if it's through Zoom or through Hangouts. Well, we use Zoom on movie night.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't. is like a lot of people are using Zoom, and I don't know if you can actually just straight with Zoom if it easily does that, or if they're doing something else to get it to.
No, no, no,
Like-
no. Watch your language. That word. No, no. We're not going to have that word around here. That word straight.
Their context is important, okay?
We'll start getting into level and flat now.
Oh man, don't even start with that. Oh man.
Yeah, words have usages.
Yes.
No.
Hi, alias fake name. How are
Oh.
you? Oh my, now we've got people flashing each other over in the side chat. Oh man, I don't know about these kids. You're gonna get me demonetized. Now wait a minute, I'm not even monetized. I'm way far away from that baby. Yeah, I can imagine what it's gonna take. That's another one. It would be great to have Matt in here to describe his trials and tribulations, because he started going for the application process for monetization not that long after he started his channel. I mean, he zoomed up to 1,000 subscribers, like that. And it's well, he puts out some damn good stuff anyway. If you're listening, Matt, I love your shit. But then it took him.
After the streams I've been in with him, that word choice.
all the butt stuff going on, yeah. Oh, but God, how long did it take him between application and finally getting monetized? I think it was something like 9 months.
Wow.
And it was like, whoa.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like they I don't know why it took them so long. Like he had other people who applied the same time or after him that got it before he did.
Yes. And there was some
Sure.
joking going back and forth about that.
Yeah, it's just...
It's like I said, the trials and tribulations of getting started.
But of course, there's also the whole YouTube likes to break everything. It doesn't want anything to work because the whole notification bell doesn't do shit.
Oh, boy. What's really great is when you get the notification about a half hour after the video started.
Okay.
For the live streams.
Like
I don't get it at all.
they've actually admitted on Twitter that it doesn't do anything. It doesn't matter because they will already, even if you don't hit the notification bell or anything, there are times that YouTube will notify you. So it's not the only way to get notifications. And they use their algorithms to decide when they're going to bother notifying you about things you've asked for notifications on. So it's useless. It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
Use any other social media. Anything, just Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, Discord. Pick a site. Any of them work better at this point for that.
Well, the other thing I was going to bring up about when we're just talking a minute before about helping each other out type stuff, and where you can actually stream each other's stuff, videos and sound, is through the live hangouts through Discord. Through the personal message system. I was doing that with someone or a couple of people the other day.
I so wish people were using Discord instead of some of the other programs, to be honest, because I don't know if people have noticed, but I kind of have background sound that occurs at times. Like I've had to mute my mic several times on this one and countless times on Matt's, and then last night they had to mute me at one point because of other sound. Discord has the option to set up a key to push to talk. None of these others do. So Discord, I could actually just set it so I had to press a button and was used to that, whereas all the rest of these, I have to sit there and go mute my mic every time something happens.
Yeah.
I'm not going to remember I got me mic's muted, and people are talking, and I'm trying to talk, and they can't hear me. That's how I've been having problems with that way.
Go.
That one thing I did eventually, after my 4th or 5th video, I broke down and got an actual microphone, a Blue Yeti, and the red light on it that tells you if you're muted or not helps a lot.
Oh, for the love of St. Louis, so many times I've had my kill switch in the wrong position, And yeah, we've had some joking going on in at movie night over that one, especially near the end of movie night, because those of you who don't know, I think there may be like half of a person in the side chat that doesn't know how movie night goes. Those things will run 8 hours, 7 hours.
But not
Um,
on purpose. Not on
yeah,
purpose.
and near the end of those, sometimes people come close to falling asleep. I think I have a couple of times. And then when I've got my kill switch in the wrong place, I'm just getting ribbed about being asleep. And it's like, no, guys, really, I had my mic shut off. Yeah, sure, Clarion.
The funny thing is about
Hi,
getting
honey.
invited. Hi.
Hello.
Getting invited to watch movie night. Sometimes it feels like, oh, I get to watch my friends goof around, and the other times it's like, oh, they're mad at me and trying to keep me from sleep.
Yeah, I don't think even if I was invited, I don't think that'd be something I could do because, like, I can't not have sleep. Anybody who's
Mm.
seen the private chats with me on the days that I've not had sleep can probably see just like I can seem fine in some places because my mind will still work well enough that it's okay, but then other places like you'll just be able to read everything that's going on in my head that's bad because I lose my filter and I lose my ability to process things right.
Well,
So
that means that we'd want you to lose your filter, I think.
losing just my filter would be one thing. Losing my ability to think through and realize the world is not falling in on itself.
Well, you have a point.
Evan, sweetie, hi.
What's going on, guys?
Oh,
Hey!
sleepy D, sleepy dead. Go for me, go for you. What am I talking about? I don't know what I'm doing.
You've got an awesome chat going on the side. A lot of my favorite people are there.
Oh man, I got so
I
many
can't
of the
let you.
favorite people. They are so wonderful. You guys, I love you guys over on the side there. Well, I love you no matter where you are, but over on this side, that works too. Faye, you have any stories about getting started? Because you and I started again about the same time.
Well, I had a slow start.
But yeah, you're
Like
rocketing
you,
up there.
I spent more time on other people's channels than my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I had someone who was constantly like strong arming me to do content I didn't want to do. And I didn't have a direction, and people would be like, you should have this for your avatar, and you should do this, and you should do that, and you should do that, and you should do that. And it was like, and then other people would be like, do what you want, and other people, it's like, it's like way too much advice for one person and a lot of tears, because it would be like trying to learn a software, try to learn a program. And it's like, when I started playing with computers, it was called defrag. Now it's called optimize. Like
Oh,
I don't have to worry
more
about that.
syllables. That makes it better.
right, and it's like they keep changing
I don't have
the computer language of what I knew,
Yeah.
and that doesn't help, and then this doesn't help, and but I met some really wonderful people who made my life easier and made YouTube possible. I'm still got a lot to learn.
Oh, you and I both. I mean, let's face it. I don't know that you ever quit learning. And as
I'm
far
pretty
as
sure
I'm
if you quit
concerned, that's a
learning, you're
good
dead.
thing.
Well, I mean, like, okay, like Godless Iowan, the way he does things, it's like it seems so easy for him, but I know he works his butt off. You know what
Oh
I mean?
my,
Like, he's working his tail off, and he's always working on it. And I'm
yeah.
like, how does he function?
This is what I want to know. How the heck? We were talking about this in the green room, I think. How the heck does Matt? He was saying in the earlier live stream, he's got 2 videos a week, 2 live streams a week. He's keeping Snarky happy. He's got a job.
Happy.
He's
Happy.
active on Twitter all the time too.
Yeah.
And he's a dad.
Yes,
he's
let's
doing the
not forget
dad
that.
thing.
Let's not forget that.
He's doing the dad thing. So
Yeah, it's like, how do you keep up with so much?
I mean, that would kill me.
I
Up one
don't keep
side
up
and
with
down the
anything.
other, I would be dead.
and he's a damn good friend. So
Yes,
He's
he is
awesome.
a big sweetie. He is one of the first people that I interacted with once I got to this community. Um, that's come to think of it, that's a person I haven't sent something to. I was just thinking Johnny Drive-By was the first person from this community that interacted with me. I left or I put a response video up to Catholic Answers. Johnny happened to see it, and the comment he left was something like, "Hey, darling, this is wonderful stuff. I hope you keep doing it, and hope I see you again." And a little while later, I was on one of his live streams, and I even have a link to it here if I can find it, because it was a wonderful little live stream that we had going. I'm not seeing it, so it must be buried somewhere. But that's where I met. That's where I met Matt, and I'm pretty sure I met Snarky. Yeah, I would have met Snarky there as well. I'm thinking of how many other people. Maybe Peter. I know.
probably
I know Faye. I met through Peter.
right. Well, we were in the same chat, and we
Yes,
both got sort of like, I'm gonna take him down. We
that
got
guy,
mad.
that Israel, whatever his name was, who was saying really weird things that could never be possible in a rational world, that sort of thing.
He was
God,
being intellectually dishonest, but
yes,
like you do realize though, like the person to bet on is Little Snarky because she found the Paul and Morgan thing. I uncovered it, and it's gone like everyone in the atheist community is like Paul and Morgan, and it's like that kid has a great eye for content.
absolutely. Well, I am waiting for the day that she finally decides and
Well, she's
clear
just a kid
clears
right
it
now.
with Matt and Snarky and shit like that. That she finally starts doing stuff. That will be amazing. I want to see what she's
If
got.
she wants to.
Yeah,
If
if
she
she wants to,
wants
that's the
to,
big thing.
absolutely.
I mean, you ever notice that, like, some celebrity kids, they're like, oh, you're going to be an actor? And the kid goes, no. I'm not doing what my parents are doing.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm not going down the same rabbit hole my parents went down. So you never know, but, like, the
You
kid's
also
got a
have
great eye.
you also have the actors who go into acting for one thing, and then they don't ever act again.
True.
Hey,
One of the
Sweetness, how you doing?
oh, I'm doing great. How about you?
Oh, not too terribly bad here. Just getting warmed up here. A little live stream now, and then come midnight, I'll be up for another 8 hours.
Oh, come midnight, I would probably be in bed.
You got to come down to movie night sometime. Have you ever seen movie night?
I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I go to look at it and I see that it's like 8 hours long, and I'm like, I got shit to do today. I can't just sit around just watching this.
What I've got to do is talk Cy into a highlight reel. And as a matter of fact, I still haven't done it. One of the 8-hour live streams I did not too long ago, I still want to cut up into a highlight reel. And maybe more people would be interested in watching, like a half hour at a time. Because there's another thing you learn. Oh my God, Faye, do you remember back in the day when we used to do those 8-hour after shows?
I wish I didn't remember.
And then there was the one where Don did his usual after show, and then somebody said, let's do some more. So he did another 8 hours with the title, Why Am I Doing This? and then another 8 hours. So we ended up going 24 hours on a live stream, and it was like we were kind
I
of
wasn't there for the full 24. I'll tell you that. I had to sleep. I had to sleep or I get really mean.
Who can talk
Ooh.
Not
for 24
not
hours?
not rational, not reasonable, not even dealing with reality. It's like you're breathing. How dare you? That's the kind of mean I get when I don't sleep. I am a completely horrible, hateful human being, and I try not to inflict my person on others when I am like that because
But
I know they haven't earned it. It's my problem.
but Faye, you do it so sweetly. If you remember
No, I don't.
when when when
Is there
you
even
were
a sweet way
on,
to do that?
who the heck did we have on that night? Duke was on. You were on. I think Evans. Were you there that night when we were doing the ASMR? Oh, David was there. Compelled Unbeliever. And you can say the meanest things in the sweetest way, Faye.
I know in a private hangout the other day, someone said that I might be inflicted with somebody I don't like, and I replied that I would rather have undiagnosed syphilis for 20 years.
Oh, jeez. That's the way it goes, kids. Oh my, oh my.
I don't know if that actually sounds nice when I say it. Or if it's
There's
just
just
an
a certain
illusion.
there's just a certain syrup to that. Yeah. Um, 'cause
Imagine if I tried.
pounded in the butt by not trying to sound mean and syrupy all at the same time. By Chuck Dingle.
Oh my.
That I actually cut that one out of that that live stream we did. Oh, it might have been one of my celebratory live streams. Maybe it was the 1,000 follower or something. I forgot. But yeah,
I
we
would
ended up.
love
And this one is the year you've been on YouTube for a year celebration.
Yeah. Now I didn't
Oh.
release my first video on February 2nd of last year, but the first one I released as Lavender Lady, yeah, was to February 2018. That was my first Vox Rationis.
You what?
I have no idea when the first video I made.
Yeah, the video, Terry, the video series I call Vox Rationis, the voice of reason.
Okay.
And it was on Burden of Proof, as a matter of fact. I may have got a whole 6 views on it or something like that, because, yeah, it's an early one. Boy, is it early. I actually have to look and see what I got as far as views on that one were concerned, because that was, okay, Video
Somebody's
Man.
vibrating.
That's gotta be
me.
the pig with the trees growing up the side of his face.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Sorry, I was gonna say something. I was just gonna say that I remember what my first video was. I don't remember when I released it though. First one I did was my intro to Creationist Problem with the Fossil Record, and I really didn't expect to. It's almost I don't know, like half a in like 6 months I think will be like a year since I started, and I really didn't expect to be anywhere near as far as I am now. I really didn't expect to launch over 100 because I was like, I don't really think anybody's going to care for this, and the fact that it isn't because I'm driving, but the audio was about the same as it is coming up to y'all right now, and so I was like, this isn't really going to take off, but I'm enjoying myself, so fuck it, I'm gonna keep doing this. And so I did it for a while, and now people are like, when are you coming with your next video? And I'm like, oh, y'all actually like it? Oh, okay.
I'll tell you, the thing about that is, well, everybody keeps telling me I spend too much time writing the scripts, and I probably do. But that's the big one as far as getting stuff out, is getting those scripts written, especially on the response videos, because it takes me a while to get it to where I like it. And yeah, I know, I'm my own worst critic. Isn't that all of us? But
Yes.
I'll get there. Really, I will. Yeah, I found it. See if we can do this. Yeah, okay, there we have it. And I will go ahead.
Well, the nice thing about you working from a script, that would make you being able to subtitle your stuff much easier.
Yes, as a
Others
matter
are
of
taking my
fact.
work from me.
With me,
What?
it's not, because I use my scripts as kind of like a guideline, and whereas sometimes I do stick to them, a lot of times I'll add things or delete things as I speak.
It still would be easier than trying to start from nothing as far as putting up subtitles on it, though, because you at
Right.
least have that. The alternative is to start with the automated captions.
I feel
Yeah.
bad because someone asked me to put subtitles on mine,
That's
and
what
I
I'm
said
getting
that
at.
I would, but I haven't had the time. And
Somebody asking people to put captions on things is why I was joking about you're stealing my job, you're stealing my work.
Okay.
Yeah, Unicorn brought that up, and I think one of Iowans chats, and I was honest. I was like, I'm just too lazy for that.
What have I not brought it up? I have a whole video on why people should add captions to their video.
I know I need to do that, but I looked it up. I was a little bit off. I didn't have 6 views on that first video of mine. 1, 2, 3, fourth from the bottom. Vox Rationis #1, Onus Pro Blondie. 52 views in a year. Can you believe it?
Hey, it's better than 0.
Yeah, it's better than the transgendered chef #3, Pinto Bean Stew, with 10 views.
I did watch that one. It was yummy. I stole the recipe.
Oh, yay! And I'm going to be making some more lentil soup, maybe if I'm still awake tomorrow after the 3 live streams. I want to make some, because I spent a week in the apartment. Didn't go out at all because of the way the weather was. I mean, it was 0 degrees air temperature, -22 wind chill, that sort of thing, which I just don't get along with at all. So I actually went out, did some grocery shopping earlier this afternoon, brought back a whole bunch of stuff, and but I had eaten everything in the apartment because I hadn't gone out and done anything, and so where I was going with that, I have no freaking idea, but that's beside the point.
I just looked. My very first video has like 48 views on it.
Oh my! I'd still like to break 100 consistently, and that means that I've got to put 100 view video out there. I've got to put the stuff that's worth it.
Evans would have probably a lot of views if he put content out.
That is incredibly true.
It does help to put things out.
Yeah, like one of our number who puts that volume that he puts out is just overwhelming. You can't watch all the stuff he puts out, because in one day he puts out a ton. Artemis brain sample. When was the last time he put something out? Half a year ago? I don't know.
See, a lot of my time has been spent up front getting things ready so that whenever I start the process, I can be consistent with it.
Okay, there
So
you go. There you
getting
go.
templates ready, getting all the artwork ready, getting intros and outros taken care of, and then I plan on doing a copious amount of filming that I've already done. That way, if something comes up, I can still maintain a regular release schedule if I've got to like step out for a week or so.
Wait, you're
Oh
supposed
my!
I just hope that doesn't backfire on you.
I just saw something in the side chat.
I tried that.
Spooky Bed Hair, Dr. Jones banned you from the place chat? What happened?
Oh my God, he banned me.
Oh.
Oh my! I see that you don't have a spanner. Well, you do now. Yeah, if
so
you gotta come on and tell us about that. Let's see.
So to clue in anybody who's new, like Evans may not know. Dr. Jones is
Pathetic.
he's a Christian who had this. Well, he didn't want to use the label Christian, but he's a fucking Christian.
He's a Christian. Oh yeah.
He had this thing. I forgot even what the fucking name of the YouTube channel was.
Well, he had several shows. There was The Place, there was this and that, there was a couple other things. I worked with Jones for 1.5 years. So matter of fact, that's where I first started going on live streams.
Yeah, and I was on a couple of the episodes that they did, and one of the ones that I was on was about depression. And they kept trying to conflate depression with sadness, and they weren't seeing that. And I was like, you're not even talking in the same ballpark here. Sadness is one thing. Depression is an actual thing, and they had this. I don't know if he was classified as their expert or whatever, but he was talking about it as if he knew. Yeah, he was talking as if he knew all about this. And I'm like, you have no fucking clue what the fuck you're talking about.
Bob could be a nice guy, and he also could be a jerk. You just didn't know what you were going to get that day. Bob, if you're listening in, you are sometimes full of yourself. Okay. And so am I, but I try to keep it down. Oh, that was the beginning of the end, as a matter of fact. I think it was another 2 or 3 weeks, and I just had to go. I had to leave. Especially that big argument we got into.
My fault.
Was that one?
No, it's not your fault. No, not at all.
Was that after Wonder Lady? Was that the one after Wonder Lady came on and fucking completely went off on Jones?
That's when I left. I left that the next day. I sent a note and I said, "Hey, look, can I take a leave of absence? Because I don't think I'm doing you guys any good." I was trying to be nice, I wasn't. I was trying to not say, "Look, I've got to get out of here because you're just a jerk." But that's basically what happened. Yeah, absolutely. It's
more than that, he's delusional. I know what a dead person from 2,000 years ago was.
In the same, and almost
what he was thinking.
In the almost exact same breath, he sat there and said that we don't know what these people back then were thinking, but this is what they were thinking.
Yep.
And what's really funny now is I noticed that I even sent a note to him when I saw this. Steve McRae has gone on Jones's channel a couple of times, and I sent a note to McRae with, I leave and you come on. Oh, great. So I don't know what things have turned into because I haven't watched those shows.
So we're talking about Steve now, are we?
No, let's not get started on Steve. I had quite the rant earlier.
Oh, a few of us have.
Yeah, I don't because I don't talk about philosophy. I don't get into it with Steve.
I didn't
but
used to.
I find it funny. Huh?
I didn't used to get into it with Steve.
You didn't used to?
Yeah, just until Sunday, I had never gotten into anything with Steve. And as of last night, I'm blocked.
Yeah, I don't get into anything with Steve, and so I don't find him a bad guy. But the thing is I have noticed a transition in his tactics. Before, he used to go, he'd only go off on people whenever they said, "Well, you're just an atheist and you don't want to take the title," and he'd say, "No, this is why." I was perfectly fine with that. But I've noticed the change in his tactics where now he just kind of goes after everyone, and it's like, you know, you do you, but I don't talk to him very often because it's like you're going off on everyone.
The one rather recent.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. The one rather recently where I wanted to get into it with him, but I thought twice and said, no, this isn't going to go anywhere, was of all damn things, the question was, is 1 + 1 = 2 known a priori or a posteriori? In other words, do you need experience to know that 1 + 1 = 2, or is it knowable, from just the axioms, from logic itself? And he's going
I would
on
say
and
that
on.
this is something you have to be taught.
Well, I mean, it's
because if you don't know numbers, you're not going to really understand that 1 + 1 = 2.
That's not really the way that you would conceptualize a priori and a posteriori, though. It sounds like that on the surface, but a good way to conceptualize it is like a priori knowledge is knowledge that can be obtained through just deduction, and a posteriori knowledge is knowledge that is discovered through exploration. Is a better way to conceptualize it.
Okay,
so, like, if you want to know, if there's an elephant in your fridge, you have to check and see if there's an elephant in your fridge. But if you want to know that all bachelors are unmarried men, that would be a priori knowledge, because you could deduce that.
Well, it's by the definitions. But the reason I brought that one up was because the question itself seemed so trivial. But Steve is bringing up citation after citation, and are you saying that Willard Quine is wrong? The greatest analytic philosopher ever. And I'm thinking, Steve, you know what that sounds like, don't you? I mean, that only sounds a tiny, tiny little bit like argument from authority. But it's like, no, Clarion, shut up, don't say a word. It will not go well.
Well, the thing is with me is like, for instance, you can have someone like me who is pretty much completely ignorant when it comes to philosophy. And so if I'm asking a question, you can automatically assume that because I'm so ignorant on philosophy, that my question is a sincere one. I'm not trying to get you in a gotcha type of situation. And even with people who are asking sincere questions, he would sit there and challenge them as if they're trying to get him in a gotcha. And it's like,
here's the thing.
Just slow the fuck down.
Whenever you said that it 1 + 1 = 2 would be something that you have to be explained, right? You would say that on the surface, you'd say that it was a posteriori knowledge. Now, what Steve would do is, instead of saying, no, the way that you're conceptualizing these things wrong, because I think that now, you kind of know what's going on just by me saying, oh, this is what these things actually mean. Steve would go, frustrated, you idiot. How could you not agree with these countless philosophers? Instead of explaining the concept.
That's not actually argument. That's just saying, they're right, you're wrong.
And so that's my problem with Steve is that we're the way that he goes about it is as shitty as you possibly can. Instead of saying, hey, this is what these things actually mean, you insult, denigrate, and then stroke your ego. And that's just not the way to teach people.
What I'd really like to do,
I'm just going to be quiet about this.
What I'd really like to do, and if there's anybody who has some degree of expertise, Evans, you sound like you might have a little bit anyway. I'd like on one of my, say, coffees with Lavender, if we couldn't have a discussion about how philosophy is necessary if it is necessary at all, and how to go about posing the questions. And because one of the things that impresses me about philosophy, and I may have it all wrong here, and if I do, please let me know. It seems to me that a philosophy seems to be more opinion than data. I don't know if that's the case or not. But remember, you're talking to a hard scientist here. I trained as a biologist.
Hold on. And I'm not going to say much about the subject because everyone knows that I dislike philosophy. Philosophy, depending on who you're studying or what brand or what avenue you're going down, can be useful. But I really hate it because it seems like to me people who take it like not just I'm going to read up and I'm going to blah blah blah. Some people, a small percentage, take it and it's like we're going to think about thinking and you are going to do this in such a I'm going to shove you into a jello mold and then bake you. I don't need that crap. I don't need that attitude.
Right.
And I think what I don't like most about philosophy is how some people approach it.
Yes.
That said, I'm going to shut up, and when you guys switch the subject, I'll keep talking.
Okay. No, the one that really got me was what my ex used to do to me, and I know it sounds like a lot of complaining. With her philosophy was a game of one-upsmanship. You know, you'd offer something as a question. Oh, have you read Wittgenstein? Have you? It's like I'm just thinking about something. What is all this? Anyway.
Yeah.
Unicorn lady, you were starting to go, and I interrupted you.
Just as far as Steve, my problem with him is not even that he's got a different angle or whatever. My problem is with how the whole thing went down. Like he's not just intense in this, and he's got his view, and he's got to say whatever, or even argue or whatever. He goes, well, like was said, he's insults people. He gets just degrading. He gets condescending. And then he goes around and just brings up somebody says, and like quoting them and retweeting it out to his followers, and then can't stand it if somebody does the same back at him.
What Matt just put in the side chat, what GI just put in, it's beautiful. It's succinct. I love it.
What did he say?
The issue is with philosophers, not philosophy.
Yes.
Beautiful. I love that. Why the hell didn't I think of that? Well, no.
Pure Ostentation also said something similar.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have to agree with
right
that.
above it. Why didn't I see that?
I would have to agree with that assessment, because if all I came across was people like Steve is now, then I would probably be in the same mindset that I absolutely hate philosophy. It's stupid because of the philosophers who are using it. But if you come at it like, say, like if I said something and Evan said, well, actually, this is how it is in philosophy, yada, 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 and was explaining it, and as I asked questions, was actually willing to be patient, and even though he may be thinking, are you a fucking idiot? What he's saying is, well, actually, this is how we know this through philosophy, yada, yada, yada. That would be a more approachable way to philosophy.
Yes, you want
get people to be. Yes, and people may not be excited about philosophy, but they would be like, oh, well, that's pretty understandable now because you've explained it to me in a way that I can understand it.
Yeah, you want people who are actually able and willing to communicate with people. And if Steve ever was, he has completely lost that and has no interest, from what I can tell, in being able to at all.
Yeah, because I mean, because I find philosophy incredibly important. Not in my life specifically, but then in the broader scope of things as well. But I totally understand why people get a bad taste in their mouth. And that's because a lot of the people that are really into philosophy are dicks. There's just no way around it. But it's like FA and I have had numerous conversations about philosophical topics, including the one that we just had. Yeah. And it's like, I don't view if somebody was never taught math, you don't go, well, you don't know what 5 minus 2 is, you freaking moron. Go read a math book. You step them through. And the thing about philosophy is that a lot of the topics that we talk about in philosophy are not incredibly complicated, right? Like epistemology can go very deep, but it's at a surface level, it's easy to explain. And the same thing with general logic and like the a priori concepts there. And so like I believe that it's incredibly important, but at the same time, if it's not your gig, it's not your gig, right? Everybody has different interests.
Yeah. What I like is
you know what it is, though? A lot of it comes off as who would win in a fight, Superman or Batman? And then the details are argued over and over and over, and it's elliptical and it's continual and it never ends. And it's like, oh, I got you. You used the wrong vocabulary.
Yeah, and
like
that's
at
what
that
you're
point,
seeing.
I'm done.
Yeah, and that's what you're seeing in public. You're not seeing like some actual communicators and then that stuff goes on behind the scenes. You can find it if you want it. You're actually seeing that constantly.
Yeah.
Peter! Yay!
My apologies. I had to reboot. I was rendering a video for Psy, and that ate up all my memory. So I had to.
For you, hello for you, yay!
Hey, finally, I made it on one of your streams. It took a while.
Here is one of the first people with whom I interacted. I think Johnny was before you, but yeah, you were right up there in the beginning.
I met you through. Yeah, I met you through Johnny. I think. Yeah.
Instrumental in getting me into this community, and I want to thank you for that. And you're probably sitting there and saying, "Oh God, if I could just replay that last year and do things differently."
No regrets yet. I mean, really, no regrets yet.
Diana, you said that the first interaction you had with Iowan was through a hangout, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You know my first interaction with Iowan was? It was through a tweet. It was whenever I first got on Twitter. I'd been on for like maybe a little while, and I started following Iowan and whatnot. And all I did was I simply sent out a tweet, and I was like, Godless Iowan. I said something along the lines of, "Is your avatar a scarecrow or a straw man? And if it is a scarecrow, did I just straw man your straw man or something?" And that's how we got to talking. Was through a bad joke.
That's beautiful.
That's got to be the best. Really, it does. Oh my word. I don't know. Is there anyone on this panel who does not know Peter?
I've DM'd him on Twitter once.
No, I don't know
I
him.
just met him.
Never
Hi,
heard
Peter.
of him
How
before.
are you?
Hello.
Who the hell's
and I have to say one thing.
Yes, dear.
Hi, Faye. Where the hell have you been?
I've been here. I've been everywhere.
Question is, where the hell have you been, Peter?
So I've been very busy. I had some drama lately, which we won't talk about. But yeah. So
well, you had told me that you weren't sure if you'd make it today because you might or might not be. The girls might or might not keep you busy.
But yeah, see that happened before. That's
okay. There we
let's also not get into that because
no, you did.
you get all kinds of strikes if I'm going to talk about that.
I'm so far away from monetization. I'm not worried about that. No, my word. Community strikes. I don't know.
I want them. I mean, I'm hosting Psy's show, and Psy's getting strikes all the time. And while they're on our channel, no strikes.
I don't know what it is. There's something about you, Peter. You scare all the strikes away.
My scary face, I guess.
Yes,
that's probably it.
Peter could literally be playing some kind of music that would get him a copyright strike, and they're just like, you know what? We're not even bothering that.
if this guy's character is going to be as ugly as his face, we better stay away from him. I think that.
Oh, scheisse.
And now I'm the one that has to be quiet because I'd be sitting here arguing with you about are they actually stripes.
Oh,
Well, over time they can be.
Hey, and there's someone else in here that I've met, but haven't actually met. Hi, Snail.
Hi, Peter.
Peter's
How,
a big
how are your ears still bleeding?
Oh, absolutely.
I apologize for all the silliness Artemis Brain Sample and I put on Twitter.
Oh my word!
Oh, I love it. It's hilarious. You two are adorable.
Stay tuned because that's going to be a channel.
I had sent.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Oh, jeez. I had sent Artie a link, and I guess he hasn't seen it yet. Either that or he's busy. But
my god!
That would
Sorry,
be that would be the thing to put us over the top right there if Artie showed up. We'd have movie night Junior over here.
If Artie shows up, you're no longer in control, Diana. Be careful what you wish for.
He's such a sweetie, though. He really is. You're all a bunch of sweeties. Damn it! How did I run into you?
Come on now.
Snail, you tweeted the cutest little kitten ever.
Wait a minute. Which kitten was this? Was this on Floof Earth?
Of cat food, eating and playing at the same time, living.
My word.
So freaking cute.
Was the bowl bigger than the cat?
Where is that in Floof Earth?
I don't think Floof.
No, it's a regular tweet, but it's adorable.
Oh, it is okay. Is it recent?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Oh, danke.
Adorable.
I mean, something like that I would love to have around. Yeah, I love kittens. I really do. I think I love kittens better than people. But I actually.
That makes you smart.
There you go.
Oh my god!
Sometimes I wish I could have kittens around, but then it would get insane around here really quickly if I did.
I'm over here watching this unfold hilariously. Somebody is literally debating Ocean on Twitter.
Oh no!
Over the mythos of Thor, a god that Ocean actually believes in, and you're going to tell him what the mythology around this character is whenever he's been practicing pagan, and one of the sections of one of the pantheons of gods that he believes in is the Norse gods, and you're going to tell him that he's wrong?
Oh my word. Okay. Well, I guess I don't have to because it's in the side chat. The link is in the side. Oh God, yeah, people, you got to look at that link. The kitten in the bowl. It's beautiful. The pieces of food in that bowl are probably bigger than the kitten.
It is the cutest. I love his belly.
Yeah, the way they all have the big rounded bellies, proportionally anyway.
Diana, don't tell anyone. That's how I eat. I'm growing bigger as well. I need to take care of things this summer.
Oh my word! Yeah, that's the thing that gets me. I really, really, really need to drop about 50. Because when it becomes uncomfortable to bend over to tie your shoes, you know something's wrong.
I don't have shoelaces, so I don't have that problem.
Try cowboy boots. Hey, Terry.
Hey, Peter.
What are you doing? Hey, your sound is good.
Only because I'm nearly eating me mic.
Well,
What,
no, but
eating the damn thing, or?
your sound is a lot better than on movie night.
Okay, then we'll try again later on movie night, see if it's the same.
Yeah, because no, your sound is better. Come to think of it.
Well, this $15 mic, it's got to get its money's worth.
Okay.
And we need to hear you. That's probably the most important part.
Yeah, I do have important things to say sometimes.
Hey guys, I think I actually need to hop out.
Oh wow. Well, it was wonderful having you by. Seriously,
Thanks for having
truthfully
me
and
on.
wonderfully, and
Before you leave, how's the fundraiser going?
At 122 right now.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
okay. Let's. If I have the, I know I have it in my bar here. Okay, we're going to edit. We're going to copy, and we're going to share. Everybody in the side chat, if you cannot throw a dollar or two, then at least get the word out. Please get the word out on this fundraiser here, because Lady Unicorn really needs a decent place to live. She and her family need a place to live that is not horrid.
Yes, definitely. I should probably take some more pictures and show just how bad some of the rest of it is. But yeah, I
Might
need
not be
to.
a bad idea, come to think of it. I mean, just to let them know, it's like, we have to live in this damn place. Please help.
But yeah, I've got to get some stuff done. So
Oh,
The
man.
way it's so cold over there, can't you just build yourself an igloo?
Bye.
We'll see you later.
Take
That
care,
was
sweetie.
noticed around.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Josiah, how the hell are you? And yes, I can imagine you want to go to Canada tonight. Oh, man. What really gets me now, Jen, when you mentioned you had to yell at your daughter about going to Canada to, going drinking, it amazes the hell out of me that you need a passport for that. Or at least one of those enhanced driver's licenses. Because I can remember just going across the border. You have your birth certificate with you just in case they ask, but there was no big deal. And this was not that long ago. This was what, maybe 35 years?
They put in the passport rules 11 years ago. And I happen to know that because our family takes a family trip and goes fishing in Canada every 2 years. And the first year they put the rule in, the backup to get passports went from 5 weeks to 6 months. And I almost didn't get my passport before we had to cross the border.
Wow.
Well, because all the people like our family who go to Canada fishing, you just cross the border and suddenly everybody needed passports, and it's hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people flooding the passport office.
Man,
you can't sneak across like they do for the wall?
Huh?
That's beautiful. I like that one.
What do we say about the wall?
I said, can't you just sneak across like they do down on the wall?
Well, look, the wall is going to prevent so much. I'm telling you, believe me. Trust me.
You're too good at that. You're just too damn good at it. I don't know. I'm going to have to throw you off the channel.
We have Donald on the panel.
Scary.
Look, I am one of the best members on this panel. I know all of the words for this show. Okay,
you know them bigly. Yes.
The best words.
I have the best words. No one knows words better than I do. Okay.
Now I got a passport. Let's see, 2 years ago, right after the election in 2016. I applied for the passport. I actually got it right around Christmas. And with me, it was an attempt to have some identification that, fewer people would complain about. because the State Department gave me my F. So in case I couldn't get it elsewhere, I would have that gender marker on my passport. I could just pull it out here. Here I am, Diana. I'm a woman. Fine. Even if I don't sound like one. But yeah, it's kind of sad when I think about it, because I have crossed the northern and the southern border prior to the necessity of passports. And I remember, you would just go over for a few hours and do whatever you did, and you would come back home, and that would be it. And no more. Oh well.
Once you have the passport, it's not a problem at all. I mean, I don't think we go fishing and you hear horror stories about people get all their stuff broken down. We've been, I don't know how many times in the last 30 years. None of us have ever gotten broken down, but we probably look like what we are, a couple of families worth of fishermen going fishing.
Okay.
I've got to get mine renewed.
Do Canadians need passports to come back into America?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
This would be the same both ways then, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's bi-directional.
Yeah.
But why would Canadians want to come into America for then?
I have no idea. I'll tell you what, but that's a really, really good question. Come on to my Coffee with Lavender this coming Sunday at noon Eastern. I have Neil, 604 Atheist, on. He's a Canadian.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask him
why
anybody would want to come down here.
Terry, it's like time travel. You just instantly go back in time.
Okay.
If you cross from Canada into the US,
Yeah.
you're back in time about 2,000 years. So
About that.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or
I want to say that Neil came across for Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments back whenever he was heavily into that. That's the only time that I've heard him reference coming across the border.
Okay. Yeah, because there is something he was talking to me about earlier. I'll save that for the show. So now I've got your curiosity piqued, all of you, and you've got to come over to the show and hear about that. And then
you really want to kill me, right? I mean,
we'll find out that everybody already knows, and then I'll sound like an idiot.
I have to stay up until 6 a.m. until movie night starts. That ends about 12. About noon usually my time. Then we hang around for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
So that's 2 p.m. and then you want me to watch a show of yours while I'm awake for more than 24 hours.
Hey, I'm also the one who's going to have 3 live streams within 24 hours. One of them is going to take up most of it.
Oh man, I've got to join y'all for one of those movie nights. See what's going on. I keep hearing people talk about it, but I have yet to. It's going on tonight.
Join the movie night Discord server and drop Cy a link that you want to be on the panel.
Oh, I don't know about being on the panel. I don't think I've got much important to say, but.
No, neither do I. Jeez.
Well, that's true. Y'all do let Terry on.
I mean, we're all
we'll let Terry on. We'll let anybody in.
That's it.
It is just about having fun. I mean,
yes. Well, the way time
it's not important what you say. It's what you can make on Photoshop. If you get on movie night, that's probably the only time where you will see Diana in a French maid outfit.
Oh, I mean, that's reason enough to come alone.
And one night we might step it up a bit and argue about each other's cars.
There you go. Okay.
And you get to see Not Your Witness nude.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You know, the one you haven't showed on there yet is the one with me being attacked by dinosaurs.
Yeah, we need to have that as well. But so I have to be careful because people have seen me naked now as well on movie night.
Oh man,
and
yeah.
that might take a while to
I'm still
for people to
rinsing my
adjust.
eyes with the boric acid wash over that one.
I hear therapists are busy these days. Not just posted that picture pretty much everywhere.
Oh, yep. That would be Nacha. The upside
Yep.
down, sweetie. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's you upside down guys. I don't understand your arm, how tired your arms must be holding on to those turtle legs, just to keep from falling into space.
Turtles all the way down.
Yep.
I bet. I got it. I got your reference.
But I think I get too technical and I say, well, the Earth is meant to be round the other way around. So to me, everyone else is upside down.
I love the occasional map I see with the Australian view on the world, with the South Pole at the top. It kind of jars you a little, or jars me anyway, a little bit. And then after about half a second, 3/4 second, my mind flips my mental picture over to meet the map, and it doesn't look all that bad after that. It's amazing though how northern centric everything is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I had to sorry.
Yeah, Diana, did you know how the flat Earth map came about?
Okay, now wait a minute. Is this humorous or is this the real thing here?
You decide. I sent it to you on Twitter.
I thought it was to do with the United Nations symbol.
That's what I was going to say because I thought they took the
look in your DMs, Diana.
Oh no!
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't think it was strictly due to that image. But that's one of the.
God.
I said I was sorry.
No, I'm not putting that on screen share. No, it's not happening. Oh God! Oh, I need bleach. I need bleach.
That's not the bicycle picture or the motorbike picture, is it?
No. This is a little.
This wouldn't fit on a bicycle.
The bicycle would just collapse. Oh God. Oh, that looks too much. That looks too much like what I feel like when I try to tie my shoes. Because number one, that, and number two, I almost want to throw up from the way it hurts. Because that's what she's doing on there, isn't it?
I don't know, but you'll have to tweet it now. It's your stream, so I could tweet it, but this is your stream.
I'm super curious.
Not on this stream. Not on this stream, sweetie. There's a little too much visible down south. Okay.
You got a taste of curiosity. You get a taste of curiosity now. That's it.
Yeah, you're killing me.
Well,
this is absolutely going to murder me.
Somebody
DM this to me.
Give me a
Pretty
minute,
much.
I'm a big boy. I can take it.
I'm going to have to find a way to do this.
Diana, while there is some visibility, the important parts are hidden. So
okay,
we're safe with that.
Let's think about this. Do we really want to do that? Because I'll do it.
Just tweet it out and tag everybody in the stream.
I'll be sorry.
Well, you could be safe and just put it in the internal chat to start with, and then.
No, the internal chat is visible.
Oh, okay.
And besides, you can only post links there. But wait a minute. Come to think of it, back in the day, I did post the photo of that guy wearing nothing but an AR-15 and a Colt sidearm. Okay. No, this is real. I don't know. Did you ever watch any of Dawn Michaud's?
I posted the link in the internal chat. for people who
Okay.
want
Here
to
we go.
gouge their eyes out after this.
Oh
Okay.
God. Okay.
Page
So,
can't be
Three.
found, unfortunately.
3, 2, 1, go.
It
It didn't work.
Didn't work.
Didn't work?
Nope.
No.
It says
Peter,
Ton
you
dot-
messed it up. Why did you do that?
I didn't do anything. I just pressed it.
Wait, it works. It works for me.
I think it's because it's a link to your DMs.
no.
Oh, is it a private
it's
message?
it is a private message, yes, but
If it's a private message, it won't work. You'll be locked out of it.
Okay. Well, we can take care of that because where's my downloads folder? There it is. And oh Lord, I called it a folder. Oh man, somebody slapped me. It's a directory, for Christ's sake. Oh, where are we now? All right, and then all we need is that, and we need that. Okay, guys, you asked for it. There it is. That's
Whoa!
The flat Earth. I'm getting that out of there.
Quick. Oh, turn it off. Oh.
I turned it off.
Yeah, I know.
So as far as the actual thing, I don't think that the UN symbol was what.
Oh, you're back onto that now. Yeah, change the subject real quick.
But the UN symbol is one that they use definitely as saying, see, they're showing it to you right in front of your face, and you're not even seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the Bible stuff and all. Everything else gave reference to the shape.
Well, yeah, that's one of the biggest their biggest talking points, because the whole entire fact that God's throne sits upon the circle of the earth and all these other different things, and
the firmament and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so this is where where is one of their biggest and strongest quote unquote evidence for the flat Earth is, although we don't accept that because we realize that the Earth is not a circle with a more or less snow globe type of top.
Wait, what?
A what?
I'm so sorry, Evans. I'm sorry to break this bubble to you, but we don't live in a snow globe. I'm sorry.
I don't. No, I don't believe that, because I can walk outside right now, right?
Yeah.
And I can see there's a dome overhead, right?
Yeah.
Now the stars are in it. And then I can look out and it's totally flat. So
okay. Yeah.
Fake news, really.
Oh, isn't it? Okay.
This is the fake news
What I
that the
don't get,
media
though-
has been telling you. Okay.
The one I don't get, somebody was mentioning earlier about the firmament. I have never seen or heard of the softament. Does anybody know anything about that?
It's on the underside.
Okay.
You're gonna flip it over.
Softament is, on the days that the firmament's not feeling so hot. Okay.
All right, now we've got it. Okay, now we're there, and I understand. Okay.
Glad we could clear that up for you.
Yes. All I need to do now. Come on, damn it. When you can't get your belt back together, it's not a good thing. All right, there it goes now. Now we're all set. Now my slacks aren't going to fall down and everything else.
It's funny. I don't know how many people saw the actual tweet I made, but I've recently started talking to some Muslims who,
oh boy,
one claimed that the Quran had a bunch of scientific things way before we find out that they are. So I asked him to name them with the verses, and he just names them, and I'm like, okay, now give me the verses. And after a good about 10 minutes, he finally lists the verses, and I was just at a loss for words, because I was like, these verses don't claim anything that you are wanting to claim.
That's what I've run across is that Islamic apologetics are even more pathetic than Christian apologetics by miles.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't. I mean,
they're not polished.
They're not polished at all.
No,
I don't think Islamic apologists have had to let me try. For the last, say, 50, 100, 150 years, Christian apologetics have really been under the gun by people like us.
Well,
and Islamic apologetics, they don't really feel like they've had to take the fire, and they're
they
failing
haven't.
to learn from what the Christians have screwed up. Well, because the
Snell,
learning makes you an atheist.
If you look at it, Snell, the thing is for a great majority of that time frame that you get listed, the 150 years, it was these countries that were run by Islam. It was, you are for Islam or you die.
Yeah.
And so they haven't had to make their arguments. So whenever you sit there, whenever they get whenever you get these verses and they list them as if these are fact, and you sit there and say, no, this isn't fact, and this is how we know it's not fact, they just wave you off as if you're just boasting out opinions. And it's like, no, these are scientific facts that we know of. Like, one of the ones that he gave me was, let's see here, the actual verse itself was Quran 55:19-20, where it talks about how Allah had the seas combine, and there's a barrier and yada yada yada, to talk about the separation of the seas. And what he also added as evidence of this was a picture of a dead zone. And if you don't know what a dead zone is, I'm going to be covering it because I'm going to do a video on this. But a dead zone is where you have man-made things like the runoffs from agriculture and sewage treatments going into a water source that then combines with another water source. And what ends up happening is you get algae that blooms that just dies and sinks to the bottom and creates this oxygen depleted area that is known as a dead zone. And fish cannot swim in there. If they get caught in there, they die. Everything dies, which is why it's called a dead zone. And in certain aspects, whenever you look at it, sometimes it can appear as if they're not mixing, but these two areas mix quite often. Just every so often, you'll find it where it looks like they're not. And this was his evidence, was a fucking picture of a dead zone. And I'm like, no, this isn't Allah at work. This is science at work.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to get out of here, guys. So.
Good night.
Oh,
okay.
It's been
Night,
fantastic.
sweetness.
We'll see y'all soon. And whenever you get ready for the philosophy with Lavender, let me know. I'll be around.
I'm booked through the 17th, but we're open after that, and I'd like to get some stuff set up and have a wonderful coffee with Lavender.
Absolutely.
And
y'all take it easy. Have a wonderful night.
Evans will be doing ours pretty soon.
So what?
I said we'll be doing ours pretty soon.
Oh, okay. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
All right. Later, guys.
All right.
Take care, sweetness.
But yeah, so these Islam apologists, they don't really understand. And so whenever you actually bring up scientific explanations for these things that they are claiming are from Allah, they just wave it off as opinion.
Well, so Russ, I recently got a meme sent to me. They have the best thing when it comes to people that are gay, because there was an what was his name, Zahir or something, so Nahik Zahir or something like that. He said that if you have sex with 30 to 50 women, that'll turn you gay. So I'm still waiting where to sign up for that experiment.
I would love to have this experiment as well.
See,
I think these guys are the people who, for the longest time, have said that one of the reasons why women shouldn't be able to drive is because the vibrations of the car would cause them to
oh yeah.
pretty much masturbate and distract them.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you fucking serious?
Yes, they
Yeah, because
are. Unfortunately.
Yeah, because those vibrations only happen in the driver's seat. You don't get that when you're a passenger.
Right.
No, you don't get that as a passenger. You don't get that anywhere in the fucking vehicle. And it's not, and you know, that's why women here don't drive, because, you know, they just get distracted because of the vibrations.
Yeah,
That's why they drive those. You know
Rod.
what? That's why they drive those little four-wheel drive cars, because those suspension in them are a little bit more stiffer, so the bumps are a little bit more rough.
While we're talking about masturbation,
thank you for
Terry,
making that suggestion. It's.
I think
Hey,
you
Nadine,
need.
check
I
your
need.
DM.
I need you to. I think you need to keep phrasing in mind. Talking about something that is stiffer while discussing masturbation.
I don't know what people are so surprised
I don't
about, though.
imply anything. It's just people's minds that interpret how I speak. If I speak different because I'm Australian, well, that's only because of my
and we also
nationality.
have to keep in mind that you know nothing about cars because you drive a Holden. I mean, who ever heard of a Holden?
And you know even less because you. At least my car's not damaged, hidden away in a garage. I can drive mine.
I don't know what everyone's so like surprised about, because ridiculous things have been said about women for a very long time. Like when my mother grew up, she had to wear a full corset even as a child because any jiggling is sexual. There's like all these things that have been not just, you know, Muslims, but Christians as well, and just ridiculous people. I mean, you go and you show an ounce more skin than, you know, and you're asking for it. If you
That was my
a kid until now, I have heard the most ridiculous things about myself, and I'm thinking, what do you think I am?
that was one of the things that annoyed me most with Nick Montlake, man. He keeps saying that women are asking for it. If you wear a short skirt, you're asking for it. No, you're not. I mean, you're a guy. I mean, you need to keep your mind in check. If you can't watch it, then get the hell out.
Yeah.
No one's asking for anything, and that makes me mad when people say that.
That's when I'd like to stop these people that have to wear those hijabs in certain countries. Even over here, we had a certain person, a politician, trying to bring it up in the parliament, and I thought, yeah, well, that's their nationality, but I don't know. I'm sort of on the fence about it in one way, where no, they shouldn't wear that type of clothing in Australia. But if you want to be Australian, you be Australian. But yeah, it's an argument.
It is limiting the freedom of women because men can control themselves, and
thank you.
that's what
Thank you,
and
sweetie.
that's what.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's what you need to point out. It isn't about the women; it's about the men.
No. Yeah, the men. Well, it's the men that say that they have to wear these clothing, so the men don't see them.
Yeah, so they won't get aroused, or other guys won't look at your woman and get aroused.
Yeah.
If men can't control themselves, then I don't know. Get treatment.
Back in the day, you know, before I put on 50 pounds, for example, I was known to turn a couple of heads, and I kind of liked it because it was rather validating. You know, if I'm walking down the street in a tight top and a rather short skirt and everything, and a guy in his 60s drives by, and rather handsome guy, but of course I don't swing that way, you know that. But I see his head swivel as the car goes by, you know, validation, you know, one of these deals. But, you know, that stuff I don't mind. But as far as the attack, come on, guys, you're better than that. You've got to be better than that.
I personally think that it's because for such a long time, the prevailing view of people were that men were a dominant sex, and this has been corrected, but they still carry on with that same trope. And because I'm a man, I need to be I need to just do whatever the fuck I want to. And this is a wrong line of thinking, because women are people too.
Well, I would hope so.
And people don't and it's a sad thing that I have to voice this out, but there are some people who don't really see women as people, and they're just a object to objectify. And
how many women wrote something in the Bible?
None.
Yeah. None of them.
I want to jump in here.
Please do.
I'm going to offer a variation on what you guys have all said. One, yes, the hijab and everything, it's about controlling women, but it's also, I don't want to use the word infantilize because that's not quite right, but it's literally trained the men who live in those countries not to control themselves, because you're taught from a
exactly.
So
and I can Snail, in my country, the last part that was still hanging on to religion most was the southern part, and they were predominantly Catholic. So they were a lot more promiscuous because it all was forbidden. And I think that's the same thing that's going on with Muslim men. If you keep them from seeing anything, then they'll get aroused by just seeing a mere ankle. I mean, because that's,
you got a point.
Well, and they've been taught that, well, and for some people, ankles are no kink shaming here, but if you're taught that every little bit of a woman or every little bit of another human being that you can see is shameful, or should arouse you, you react that way because it's in your head. You train these things in.
Exactly.
Yep.
This is why most guys in the more Western societies get aroused by breast. I mean, let's face it. It's not only because it's an arousing thing, but because we're told, we're shown in movies and we're shown everywhere that breasts are something that need to remain covered up because it's indecent and yada yada yada. And so we get in our head, oh, it's indecent, so this makes me want to have it more. And so when they see it,
there we go. I found it.
Yeah.
See, one of the things is, and I honestly believe this, if you are an ancient desert person and you spend most of your time like tending fields or traveling with merchandise for the merchants' shops and blah blah blah, you're going to worry about who's the father. Well, now we have lovely things called birth control and DNA tests. However, people are still, she's my property and I don't want to raise someone else's kid. I think that is what it all boils down to. But all these little extras, like, it's almost like anorexia to,
Faye, don't you think that that's what the Bible and the Quran have in common? That the guys lack confidence and need to have control?
Well, yeah.
See, because that's.
I think that's what I said.
Yeah.
And I think another thing going on here with what you're saying, Faye, is that a lot of guys see, again, women as their property, and then their jealousy is they're afraid of a violation of property rights.
That also
somebody
comes
else is
from
going
the
to play in
religion.
their playground. And they see it as an attack upon themselves, upon their masculinity. Now, even if such things were to happen, okay, it may or may not be a violation of trust, depending upon what was agreed to or not agreed to or even talked about. But it's not an attack upon the masculinity. It's not an attack about the person at all.
No, but
so let's get off that first.
It is about. You can't even look. I mean, the Bible says it quite clearly. You can't covet your neighbor's ass.
Yeah.
So
Well,
she might have a nice ass. He might not have a nice ass. No coveting.
Well, I mean, not for nothing, but like, it's still here.
Yeah, but I think it's more prevalent in the U.S.
Still here.
There we go. I found you.
I think I'm sorry, guys. Say it one more time.
She said that it's still here.
Oh, I got it now. Sorry, caught up.
No problem. It's not going away. It's just here. And when they say horrible things about like, ladies, you must be modest, because God's watching you and blah 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 blah, and men are rapists, that they're basically saying in church, like, you can't trust men, like, you're gonna make them sin. If you're a woman, you need to take that as a threat, and if you're a man, you should be insulted.
Yeah.
And if you're not insulted, you have an issue.
Exactly.
And how many of the young girls that we've seen in the news are told at school to go home and change because a bra strap is kind of showing a little bit, and they're going to distract all the boys, and it's like, jeez, man, first of all, what's the big deal about a bra strap? And second of all, boys, if you can't keep yourselves in shape, if you can't keep yourselves together, you've got some work to do. Now, I understand that the hormones are going. I understand what they... Remember, I was one of those boys, years and years and years ago. I never raped anybody. Really, I didn't.
No.
You just brought up an interesting comparison. Over here, all our schools are everyone has to wear a uniform, which is all modest in its coverage. Because I've heard that a lot of your schools over there, you can wear just sort of normal.
You can do just about anything, yeah. And if you can wear it on the street, you can wear it in school in a lot of the places. Now, when I was going, Sylvia,
did it break?
I hope it isn't.
With the clothing is, like she was saying, the clothing you can wear basically what you can wear in the street in a lot of the public schools, barring a few symbols depending on your locality that would be like, you're probably not going to get away with wearing stuff for the KKK. You're not going to get away with wearing stuff for known gangs, and you're not going to get away with wearing something that's a call for violence.
Right.
But mostly you can wear what you want within reason. You can't go naked. You can't go show certain body parts.
Yeah.
One of my things is...
When I was in the Catholic school system, unfortunately, yeah, we had that whole uniform thing going, and you could not deviate at all. The slimy bastards had bought me a pair of trousers at one point that had no belt loops, and I was told that I had to, go home and get belt loops sewn on. And it's like, what the fuck is this? Sylvia is going to be sad to know that when she knocked that thing, she knocked Bastet's ear off.
Oh no.
Because let's see, we have this little thing going over here. If anybody, yeah,
I'll have a look.
There we are. Little Bastet's ear is going bye-bye. I don't know about some people's kitties. This is why we can't have nice things.
I don't. When it comes to the whole entire idea of school clothing, I don't mind people being fully clothed. One of the things that I do have an issue with was whenever you had so many of people who were all for these young women to go there in these like booty shorts and these really just I don't want to use the word inappropriate, But
I know where you're heading, and no, I'm
these
not
types of pups,
happy about that either.
and I'm like, this isn't something. I mean, on one hand, I get conflicted because on one hand, I know that that in a way, a woman should feel comfortable going in clothing that they feel comfortable in, but at the same time, you are dealing with teenage boys and teenage girls, and on both sides of the fence, hormones get to flying, and on both
Well,
sides of the fence, people.
I'll just
no, I'm not. I'm
I'll
not
just
going in
say
that direction.
No,
I think if you're worried about the young men, you need to teach them
yeah,
because
that,
it I think women
What I'm
if
after.
if a man can go swimming in nothing but a pair of trunks and hang out on the beach, but we're
Or
supposed to cover
speedos
up.
like over here.
Like it's not, oh, his shirt is off and he's in his shorts. I'm gonna jump him. Wait, girls have
Yeah, but
hormones
our guys,
too.
and
Well, that's
and,
why I
and
said on both sides of the
our
fence.
guys wear.
I know, but still, like it. I no, I just
What?
it's
that
also it's
they need to
also
be taught.
yeah.
Kids need to be taught time and place. There's a time and place. There's a time and place. Just because someone's showing some skin, it can become normalized. I
Yeah,
mean,
It
I
and
grew
can
up
be,
at a
I
and
think,
beach.
Faye,
I grew up at a beach location. A lot of people showed a lot of skin.
Who
I,
wears? Who
we
wears?
okay.
weren't
Our guys.
attacking each other.
and Faye, wouldn't you agree that it is easier to teach them when they're younger instead of when you let them grow up first
Oh
and
shit!
then
Yes.
confront them? I mean, if they're used to it growing up, it will be a lot less of a problem.
Yes, but one of the issues here as well is the fact that you do have parents that do teach their kids young about time and place, and then you have parents that don't. And yes, we do, everyone needs to teach their children this, but there's still going to be parents that aren't going to.
Well,
And the
and
You
fact
know where
that,
kids learn most of their shit from, though?
Other
Where?
kids.
yeah, other
yeah.
kids.
Not other kids as much as the media and the entertainment they're exposed to. These
Okay.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I can see
messages
yeah,
that.
need
yeah.
to be, and I'm not
I
talking about talking down to people. That's why I liked the Gillette commercial. You know
Oh,
I
what I mean?
I heard about that.
I can only agree to that to some extent because there were certain things that I wasn't raised around that I didn't learn until I went to public school.
so
So, I mean,
and
I can only agree with you to a certain extent because there are people who aren't raised in that type of having those types of influences in their everyday life that they don't actually start learning about things until they get into school.
And then you get into a completely different discussion and then a difficult one, and that is because if the kids aren't taught this at home, they should be taught this in school. And that's
and
where you run into the problem in the US because there you have school boards who will decide what the kids are taught, and the school boards are made up
Well,
of parents.
I was
I
going to say
was,
it's the parents more than it is the superintendents and stuff like that.
Mm.
but
They'll always kowtow to the parents.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was just gonna jump off and make that point that the schools should be covering this. I can't remember which Scandinavian country it was. I saw a video. It was on Facebook a couple of years when I was still on Facebook, where they were talking about how they did sex ed in one of these Scandinavian countries, and it literally started with just talking about the body at like 5 or 6 years of age, so that things that like happened to my niece don't happen. So my sister, love her dearly. She's a wonderful mother. She blushes at the word menstrual. It's
Oh man.
hilarious. It's hilarious. But has anybody else seen the Canadian show Anne with an E? It's the remake of Anne with Green Gables.
No, I haven't.
It's really adorable. It's really adorable. It's sweet. But there's an episode where Anne gets her first menstrual cycle, and of course, It's the 1800s. She doesn't have a mother. She doesn't know what's going on. She thinks she's dying. She has a panic attack on screen. It was really well done. My niece, who's coming up on 8 or 9, saw that and had a meltdown watching it, not knowing what was going on, thinking this girl was dying. And my sister, instead of stopping and explaining what was happening, turned the TV off and let her stop watching.
Oh,
Like,
great.
no. So a month later, I give not knowing this happened, I give my niece, who's an avid reader, a hardcover copy of Anne with Green Gables because she's the right age for it. She's like, well, I can't read that. That's a scary book. And I'm like, what? So here I am explaining to my 8-year-old niece what a menstrual cycle is. And my sister's in the kitchen going, thank you, thumbs up. And I'm like, sis.
Oh, I'm amazed that she didn't slap you down for that.
No, I'm ex-Catholic. My family's very into science and stuff. And my sister will call me on the phone and put me on with my niece and nephew and have me help explain stuff to them because she wants them to learn.
I'm ex-Catholic as well. And the Slimy Bastards actively suppressed anything related to the body, reproductive function, that sort of thing, with my sister and myself. The female Slimy Bastard could not say the word sex in anything above a whisper. What I learned in the library.
Yeah.
Because I had to. There was no other place to go.
Yeah, I remember running across it must have been like 100-page book on human anatomy and health, aged appropriately when I was like 10 or 11, and I read everything, and I did then too, and I read that and gave it to my sister, and she's just gotten in the habit since we were little kids of, I can't handle this prude, which is funny because she's not really a prude, she just can't talk about it, which is probably left over from the Catholic upbringing. It's really funny. But she's like, if she can't talk about it with the kids, she just calls me and goes, would you talk to them about, and then I'm like, what's the question? Because she won't say the word. And then she hands the phone over. And I just laugh and do it.
Oh, man.
My nephew, I have a bet. I have a mental bet. My nephew, I think, will probably be an atheist, a non-theist, or at least a non-practicing Catholic, at least 5 years before he graduates from high school. The boy is asking all the right questions.
Well, that's cheerful. But that said, I really should get going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel good.
Okay, if you are not good to feeling to making, then you had better to the bed to go to going to making. Because it is not good to feeling to make. What am I talking about? I have no idea. And I'm not even as good as I usually am, because usually I can just rattle that right off. The to making at the end of declarative sentences, that's how you know they are. And all the verbs at the end. I can mangle the language anytime. It's one of those deals.
Well,
and it's even better with my fake Russian accent.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you.
Well, it's great hearing your voice again, Ray.
I am very much appreciative thereof. It's always a pleasure to have you by, and love you dearly and everything and stuff and things, and yeah.
We'll talk soon. I need a mental health break.
Okay.
I've already been on one stream today, and then I watched a stream, and then I'm here, so I'm a little bit overwhelmed.
Well, I've
been very sick this week. So.
Oh my, we're probably gonna go no more than an hour, because there are 3 of us here who have a place to be in another 2 hours.
Yeah, we're gonna get ready for that.
Yeah, one of those deals. And Brent, I finally found your Twitter. I sent you a tweet. I found the guy with the AR-15. Could you follow me on Twitter, and then I can DM that to you? Okay, so much for that. Yeah, the
By the way, can I make
yes,
a
dear.
quick commercial for later?
Oh,
I
hell
saw
yes.
I
Absolutely.
I saw something that will come up. People might want to watch at least housekeeping because that's going to be good tonight.
Oh my, oh my. Okay, now Peter, do you have a link to that live stream that I can throw in here? Because I
Yes,
never. You do?
I just posted it in Discord live stream and the pop out chat. Just
Um,
go into size Discord in panel members
or I'll tell you what. Do
and
you
it's
have a
there.
wrench, don't you?
Oh, I don't have the stream up. I only have this. So
Oh, okay, fine. Okay.
I just wanted to hop on quick because I already was late when you sent me the link. So I didn't
What do
He's
you want to
pull the
link?
okay.
stream
He's
up.
okay.
Do you
To
want to link put in the
tonight's
outside chat?
yeah, to put in the outside chat a link to tonight's movie night.
I
So
can do that. I can do that.
oh,
Yeah, I can do
great.
that.
Thank you. Yeah, so everybody can see housekeeping, because it sounds like Peter would like people to see that. Right, Peter?
Yeah, that was cool.
Did-
So it
Did
had
Nacha just put up the link?
Did he? Oh, he did it already, did he?
Nacha! Sweetie! Hey!
He was all ready to do it. I wasn't.
what we got a naked Australian in
We
the
got a
chat
naked
now.
Australian, and we got to get that naked Australian in here. Oh, man. It's great to have you come by, Nacha, upside down, sweetie. I have met some of the most amazing people on the planet in this past 12 months. And I just want to thank every one of you again. It's
And we're still meeting more. That's the
Yeah.
cool
that's
thing.
that's the fun thing. It's been a great ride, and I'm just looking forward to many more years of this. By
Yeah.
all means. And
I've
where
met a lot of
did
great people.
my Twitter feed went bye-bye? That was not a good thing. Why did I send
I
it
don't know.
bye-bye?
I'm not opening up any more windows on my computer. Will slow down too much.
Control Shift T. Oh no, that doesn't work. Yeah, that does work,
What?
doesn't it? Control Shift T. Doesn't that work on a Linux? Bring back a screen that you just threw out.
I don't know. I never tried anything like that.
I think that's a hotkey in Google Chrome to bring back. If you close a tab, Control Shift T will bring it back.
Control
Control
Shift.
T.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that.
I'll have to go
What's the
watch
best
it.
it can do?
It's
Okay.
Control T or Control Shift T, either of the two.
And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring up a screen. Okay, let's do that one. And then I'm gonna take it down, and then Control Shift. Wait a minute, come here, you. Let's do this right.
Could be it's just Control T. I'll have to check now.
Well, Control Shift T did bring something back, but it didn't bring back what I thought it would bring back. Okay, Control T brought up a new tab for me.
Hold
It
on.
opened a new tab. Control Shift T might have brought back the tab that I got rid of.
It's Control Shift T. I just checked.
Okay. I learned something today. Thank you. The day isn't wasted.
See? Yeah, and that's another good thing. What happens if you go on social media? You learn stuff.
Yeah.
I've learned so much over the past few years that I've been on here. So that's another cool thing.
Yeah, and
Oh, there goes the hangout. There goes the stream.
no, is the whole neighborhood shot to hell now?
It's
Yep,
the naked
yeah,
kiwi.
we've just gone under, literally. Hi, sweetie, how are you?
Oh no!
I'm good. How are you all?
Oh, we're doing fine.
Little
We
bit
we were
this.
we were doing fine, Notcha, until you
Yeah.
joined.
Little
Till
bit
I
this,
joined.
little bit that. Good for me, good for you. What am I talking about? I don't know.
We're just trying to keep cool here.
You know, this whole thing is
Yeah.
turning into Movie Night Junior over here. You know that, right?
No, Diana,
It is a bit.
Yes, dear.
Diana, you're looking at the side chat. Is Spooky there?
I will
Yes.
look. Is Spooky over there indeed? Because
Yeah,
there we are.
Spooky's in the live chat.
Yeah, there's
Well,
Spooky Bed.
then Spooky just got his wish. He wanted Nacha and me to get a room, so we're in a room.
Yeah,
I see that
saw
Spooky put that up. Now, what I'm missing over here is I'm always missing where to get those links for the movie night. I'm stupid or something like that. I'm dumb that way.
In the Discord, in Movie Night Discord, in panel members.
In panel members, why do I never see it? Because I'm not looking?
I don't know. So I just posted my part. The only thing that's missing is the join link.
Yeah, because
But the rest is already in there.
Wait a minute.
And
Okay,
I've been
hang on. I know what we've got going over here. It's in general, isn't it?
No.
No, didn't you?
No. So the pop-out chat is only in because that's only for the panel members.
Well,
so
there's
that's
one
in panel members.
There's one posted. Okay, and this is going to be my local time, I guess. From you today at 6:49 p.m.
Yeah, in
Things
general.
that are afoot, and then that's that's a watch link.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
so
was
that's-
never seeing. So I'll look for that in
Well,
general.
I do that because Sai can stream himself, so it's on our channel. So people who might be looking for movie night and are still catching it when it's posted on Sai's channel and really want to be in the side chat. So that's my little service thing,
I'm
so
gonna
they can
have
actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to remind his sinus, size over there to continue that once things are back to normal, such as normal may be, because I would always go to his channel to look for
I've been getting YouTube
upcoming live stream, and he doesn't have one of those.
I've been getting YouTube notifications for movie night since this morning. So that's been about at least 4 or 5 hours ago,
Holy
6 hours
shit,
ago.
man.
Yeah, it came up on YouTube.
Yeah, but that's Sai's link, Terry.
Yeah, the movie night for the today.
Yeah, but
I
so
can remember my
Sai's link will only point to our channel.
Well, it came up on the YouTube notification.
Yeah.
For your feed to press set reminder, and I'd set the reminder for it. So
Yeah, but it's not going to be on that channel. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, my notifications aren't worth a tinker's damn. So.
And I have to say, so I have the side chat pulled up, and the side chat is already active. People are already in there. They were in there a couple of hours ago already.
Yeah, we've got Mark Beiser, we've got NANA, we've got Crypto 457. Excuse me.
Yep. They and them.
I was in there earlier.
I don't see they and them yet.
Yeah, it's probably because you joined later. I can't scroll up to the very start because I rebooted my computer. So
yeah, because I've only got the.
Funny enough, I can't go up for the entire chat for some stupid reason. No, well.
Yeah.
But so it was active, I think, within 2 or 3 minutes after I created the stream.
Yeah.
And I really don't know how people know this. I mean, I don't think it's sending out notifications that fast. But I have no clue. It's with movie night, it's always, if I put up the stream, then the chat's active. Nacha is surprisingly quiet. Did you break Nacha?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
That never happens.
I have to.
Maybe the
Yeah,
down.
no,
I don't
sorry.
know. What's wrong? What's wrong there, sweetie?
I was still sort of loading up all my different sites and stuff. I had to check different
Yeah, that's what I
accounts.
was
So I
doing
was
too.
just
Oh,
There we
shame
go.
on Nacha.
See, that's
Multitasking.
that's so nice. That's so nice of that. I like that of Nacha.
Okay, hang on.
He joins a live stream and then pays no attention whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's basically him.
What were we talking about?
I'll join your live stream, but don't
I pay more attention to the
expect me
side
to be actively part of it because I've got stuff to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, half the time I'm editing videos through Size Movie Night, so I gotta stay productive.
I'm usually busy with Photoshop during.
Yeah, all that's the other one. I'll be either Photoshop or video editing.
I'm usually trying to get a word in sideways for the people that won't shut up.
Yeah, right. I know that feeling.
You're talking about me now, Terry, right?
Well, not necessarily. People can share the blame, can't they?
Can be a few people.
So I heard we might have a chance that Artie is joining. So
I certainly hope so.
Oh yeah,
He hasn't been around for a while.
If that's the fact, then we don't stand a chance.
No.
Yeah, it's all gonna go. But what a way to go.
At least you don't have to worry about the stream going silent.
No. He'll fill any dead air there is.
Oh yeah. He'll fill it with something.
But we need Artie more, I guess. We need more Artie.
Don't let him. Oh, I was going to say, don't let him hear you say that. We need Artie more.
Well, he knows this. I was one of his first subscribers, and the guy he needs to get out that lazy ass and make content.
Yeah, actually make videos.
The guy's a freaking genius.
Yeah.
We need to have more of that stuff.
He deprives us of his awesomeness.
Yes. And people need to point that out to him.
Yeah, I'm on that bandwagon.
We might break Snail in the process.
Oh man.
Guess who just hung himself up?
You're gonna break Snail in the process of getting Artie on board?
Oh,
there we go.
I got lost.
Have you checked his channel?
I haven't looked at his YouTube channel. No.
Oh, you have to go watch your YouTube channel because you know the title of his videos, "How to Keep a Moron in Suspense." That's actually why he's not making any content.
Yes.
He's keeping the morons in suspense.
Okay, Brant, I still can't DM you, so I just tweeted you the photograph. I really don't give a damn. So get the eye bleach ready.
Go to dinner with his parents. Everything just went quiet.
Wait a minute, Jen with one N. We had an armed crazy person under our back deck a decade ago. The SWAT team surrounded my house at 3 a.m. That must have been fun.
Is Jen in the side chat? Jen,
Yes, she
thanks for the explicit picture you sent me in DM.
Now who's keeping morons in suspense?
Yeah, it was just a little ducky,
Wank, wank.
a bathtub ducky.
Wank.
I think this one was. Yeah, well, no, it's not for females only. It can be. Okay. I'm not saying anything.
What are you doing?
You know that Jen invented this creature that Ray Comfort was looking for, right?
Yes.
The crocodick.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a duck version of that as well. That is for sale. You can actually buy that. But I'll let Jen needs to tweet that or send it to everyone in DM. Just spam the hell out of that picture.
Hey, purple rhymes with orange. I didn't see you come in. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Oh man. No, there was a little thing that went down a few years ago. Melody and I were still together, so this would have been about 10, 12 years ago. We happened to look out the bedroom window, and here's county sheriff, FBI, and ATF doing the whole SWAT maneuver around the building in front of the building we were in. And it's like, what the hell is going on? And it seemed like there was a person in one of the apartments doing nefarious things, but the way it was, I mean, the way they were operating and just doing their whole paramilitary routine and the whole bit, it's like Melody called in, I'm not going to be in work for a while because we've got this shit going down outside. It was all great. But wait a minute. Okay, you'll DM me. Okay, this is great. Perfect. Yay. Yay, 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 yay. What am I talking about? I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Sounds like every day with my brain. I never know what I'm talking about. If I do,
yes
it thinks I'm bad.
I'll just say yes a lot and nod my head.
There you are. That works.
The hard part about that in these live streams is you guys don't get to see me, so you can't see me nodding along.
Okay. Neither can. I haven't got a camera yet. And us Aussies we can't be on camera.
Oh.
No, it's against the law.
I want one. I want one.
You don't want to see a blonde-headed 6-foot Australian.
Oh man, that the duck with a dick. That's perfect. I like that. Oh.
See, told you.
I could just see that baby floating in my bathtub.
Good Lord.
Which reminds me, I haven't had a nice bubble bath in almost a year. I got to do something about that.
I want to make one. So since we have that cabin, did anyone ever see the TV show? Damn, what was his name? The $6 Million Man.
The original one?
Heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, the original one. He later went on and made a TV show about a stuntman who doubled as
Lee Majors.
Lee Majors, that's what his name was. Yeah. I couldn't remember what his first name was.
He was married to Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah.
And yeah, when you say that, the first thing that comes to my mind is why. Anyway, go ahead with it, Peter.
But yeah, so in the where he was the stuntman, he lived just outside of Hollywood on a mountain hill in a cabin, and he had a bathtub in front of his cabin, just outside.
Okay.
And I need to have one of those for when it's good temperature in summer. Just lie outside and have a bath. I mean,
you can do it in winter
just
time.
as long as you don't have a school down the road, I'm sure it'll be all right.
Not yet. That's the fine thing of forests. Not a lot of schools in a forest.
Yeah, good. Because all I pictured is like some school kids walking past your front yard
and me getting out of the bath, and since you know what I look like naked, that would traumatize a kid for life.
Well, yeah, I'll give you that.
Everyone would be saying, why don't you take your wrinkly clothes off first?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to remember.
I showed someone the picture that Nadia made, and this one needs reading glasses, and the picture was small. It was on my phone, and she looked and looked and said, I don't know what you're wearing there, but you need to iron that.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get old.
So
I am actually
Fall
amazed
Guy.
that I've weathered as well as I have. I mean, I definitely don't look 25, but it still surprises me that people think I'm in my late 40s. And so
I
I'll
look a
take
little
it.
like I look a little like 25, but only if you switch the numbers around.
What?
There you
Who are you
go.
trying to kid? Who are you trying to kid?
If you switch the numbers around, then I look like 25.
Hmm.
So okay, so do we now need to explain jokes to Australians? Because
Yes, but remember
25, if you switch the numbers around, you get
now.
52.
But there are
Yeah, okay.
the Australians are already
And
switched around. They're upside
yeah,
down,
Well,
so now
I'm
they're
not
switching
switching.
it back. No, huh?
I'm not switching my numbers around for my birthday, for my age. That'd be
Oh
worse.
man, it's how the heck do you do it? Were I to switch my numbers around, that would be too far back.
if I switch my numbers around, I get older.
Yeah, me too.
I like
I'm
that.
close.
I
I'm
like
Yeah, I
that,
close.
wouldn't
I'm
want
close.
Jags.
to do
I
that.
like that.
I'm
Stokers
close
and
to.
Jags. I'm 21 with 14 years experience. Oh, scheiße. Yeah, it's 16 was not my best age.
Is 16 anybody's best age?
I
Oh,
don't know. I had
yeah,
a
No,
driver's
my age,
I don't know.
16
I had my
was a
driver's
good
license
year.
at 16, so that was all right.
I would not want to be 16 again.
God,
Definitely not.
no. Teenagers sucked. I'm much happier now.
That was roughly when I moved to the city, so that's when my teenage years got better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually got to be a teenager. Before then, I was a recluse cultist.
I mean, I hate to think about it, but
The mushroom.
when I do think about it, my years did not start getting better until I was living alone. And that's the problem. I don't mind living alone. I just hate being lonely. Okay? That's another story entirely. But yeah, it's weird how that worked.
College made mine a lot better. I got out of my little tiny town and to college. I fit in better with the town I grew up in. Isn't all that tiny, but it's very provincial, and I didn't fit. I fit much better in college. Was much happier there, and then got much happier in my 30s.
Purple rhymes with orange. To take a line from the old television show Maude, God is going to get you for that. I hang around Diana just so I'm not the oldest person in the room, Purple says. But he's right. That's the problem. Oh, scheiße. No, it's the time with the slimy bastards was not good at all. I mean, as you can well tell by my calling them the slimy bastards. Then I got married to run away from home, so that wasn't so great either. And then it was just one thing after another, after another, after another, until finally, maybe about uh, 8 years ago, because I was a little less than 8 years ago, maybe about 5 years ago, things started getting better, primarily because I was alone. And I hate to say it, but that's the way it worked out. Because, like I say, I have my fantasies. Well, Peter, you know about that. And it's unfortunate the way being by myself has been the best time so far.
It's just life takes you where you don't expect, and you just keep moving with it and enjoy what you can.
Mm.
But that was more profound than I've been in a while.
And
Yeah.
Diana, as far as your fantasies goes, it's never too late for something to happen. I know that for a fact. So
Well, I could only wish. I could only wish. Oh well.
be confident about yourself. That's the only tip I could give you, because that's the only thing that changed for me, and that changed a lot and made me end up where I am now.
And don't turn down an opportunity.
No.
Yep.
Oh, if there's ever an opportunity, you know I'll jump at it.
Someone's
Because
getting chased.
you know as well, Nacho. We've talked about this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I see
Jump all over that
Mark
opportunity.
Caesar's here. Hey, I great to have you around. And I like what Mark Caesar says. It sucks getting old. Your body keeps breaking down. The repairs are a real pain. And then the other thing, Mark, I'm out of warranty. So go
That's
from
one way
there.
to put it.
Es ist voll mit der Scheiße. Anyway. Oh, man.
Was? Sprechen wir Deutsch? Noch
Ein
einmal?
bisschen. Nur ein
Sie durch.
bisschen.
Wenn,
Gott.
wenn wir das machen, dann werden die anderen wahrscheinlich.
Fucking hell, Peter, speak German, would you?
I am speaking.
There's the thing, Peter. I'm really working on this one because I have the school book German accent, and there's so you and I are going to have to work together on this because I really have to get beyond that school book German. So we're going to have to talk about this into the future. Yeah, because I'd love to get back into it.
I can do still one German accent. That's the Hessian accent that is spoken around Frankfurt, Heidelberg, that area. I used to be able to speak Bavarian as well, but that's completely gone because lack of.
Oh man, yeah, and they're like night and day.
Yeah, there's a lot of difference between Bavarian and what I still can do is so in the north you have the city of Lübeck, and if I talk in my native Dutch dialect, it's almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
So how the hell that happened? Because I'm a few hundred miles from that particular city, and how they ended up with our dialect, I don't know. Or we ended up with theirs.
Dialects are really weird.
Because they're German, and we're superior to Germans, so they have our dialect. We don't have theirs.
The accent and dialect around here is really, really strange. The Pittsburghers have a very, very, I call it annoying, dialect and accent. Like I'm going downtown and back to the house and stuff like this. It's, oh God. But the thing is now, you drive a stake into Point State Park, which is pretty much the center of Pittsburgh, and with a 30-mile radius, 30-mile line, draw a circle, and that's where the Pittsburgh accent is. You get outside of 30 miles, it changes completely. It becomes much more tolerable. I've lived, this is amazing. In September, I will have lived here half my life, and I'm still not, I don't think I'll ever be accustomed to the Pittsburgh manner of speech. It's crazy. It drives me nuts. And Mark, am I classic, vintage, or junk? Well, I guess it depends who you're talking to. I would like to think I'm a classic, but I suppose there are people out there who would think me junk as well. So we'll have that discussion. Yeah, Hochdeutsch, Plattdeutsch. definitely.
I was a little bit distracted. Kara's screen is trying to increase size. That had me thinking.
What?
Hey,
Heck is
what
that?
the heck happened? I'm gonna
What
on the
heck did
show
she do
later
that?
tonight when we get on channel. I'm gonna have to ask her what happened. I can't find her on Twitter.
She's not on Twitter at the moment.
No, it's on Discord.
Yeah, because
No,
I was going to send her a link to get on here, but then when I went looking on Twitter, yeah, she was just not there. I thought I remembered talking to her on Twitter a while back. Maybe it's a while backer than I thought it was.
Yeah, it's temporary.
Okay,
so
fine.
But you can still get in touch on Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not too bad on there. I've learned it pretty quickly.
Well, it's 10:30 now, so I don't know if we've got a. I don't know if it's worth that. Would I mean, a half hour maybe should be over here. I'm gonna have to. Well, I have to get you on Coffee with Lavender. I'd like to get her on Coffee with Lavender. And of course, Natja and Terry and Snail and God knows how many other people. I mean, let's do this right. And then maybe I'll actually be good at running a morning show someday.
Yeah.
Just give me practice.
Morning with Lavender Lady. Morning coffee with Lavender.
Yeah,
Which
it's
is what, dinner time for Natcha?
it used to be at 9 a.m. Eastern, which I guess for you would be what?
6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, something like that. Some horrible thing on Monday morning. And I got a couple suggestions. I will call them suggestions because they were more complaints from the West Coast of, can you have this a little later? Because 9 a.m. for me was like 6 a.m. for San Diego or something like that, and there's absolutely no reason I chose that city. It just happened to be that way. So I moved it to noon, and it's working out. It's working out pretty well so far. And so noon Eastern on Sundays, or noon Sunday Eastern, or some shit like that. I don't know what it's called, but I'll do my best to get it sounding good, and I'll even try to get some standalone videos out.
Yeah.
I did not do anything all week. Oh, for the love of St. Kulik. I was under blankets for most of the week. And I think we've mentioned a couple things. Yeah, it was horridly cold here for
It
for
wasn't
about a
that
week.
minus. Hasn't been that minus where you can freeze, get that frostbite, whatever. It hasn't been that cold.
That cold.
Oh, it was. Oh, okay.
The air temperature was not that cold. The air temperature was let's see, 0 Fahrenheit. That would be 0 Fahrenheit. What would that be Celsius? Not sure I know offhand. I could look it up. But the wind chill was minus 22.
Negative 17.7.
Oh, okay.
So fucking cold.
So what's negative 50 in Celsius for me, Natcha?
Oh, I should have just closed it. Negative 50.
Sorry, I could open it too.
Negative 50 Celsius, what?
Fahrenheit.
Negative 50 Fahrenheit in Celsius speak.
Yeah, so it's a lovely cold temperature I had all week.
Fuck that.
That's why my car is dead.
Snail, I just finally tweeted Brant the picture. Screw it.
That's okay. Then you can get them in the pictures later.
Yeah, there you go. Wait a minute. Minus 18 M.
So for us, it's been in the high or average 90 degrees Fahrenheit plus.
And that's average of day and night. It's like, wow.
Well, no, nighttime. Nighttime's been getting down, not too bad. I had a jumper on the other day, Notcher. Was that cold?
Really?
Yeah, about 2 days ago. Yesterday or the day before. Well, I didn't have to.
Not for me. I've been out in the.
That was in the daytime.
I've been out in the sun all
Okay,
all
there
day,
we
so.
go. Yeah, 0 Fahrenheit would be a little short of minus 18 Celsius.
Oh, that's a good temperature.
That was the air temperature.
Yeah, I don't mind.
And the wind chill was minus 30 Celsius.
Okay.
And that's the stuff where you cannot be out 5 minutes without getting body parts frozen off.
Oh no, you wouldn't have me out for 5 seconds. I would be sitting on top of the fire.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be out the door. I wouldn't even go near the door.
And this is what really gets me about my cousin. When you say things about the wind chill and how cold it is, she'll say and everything, and well, this is the climate change. Well, I don't care about climate change. I want the, and it's like, Kathy, you contributed. As well, so did I when I was younger. Really, I have to admit that. Or just like the problems we have here in the U.S. with all the legislation people are attempting to pass and passing, limiting access to abortion. And she's, oh, I'm past that age. I don't care. And it's like, Kathy, there are women who are not past that age. Okay?
Yeah, other people.
But it doesn't register.
Mm.
And what really makes me sad about that, she's the one member of the family that still talks to me. I mean, other than that, I have no family. And that's the one that still talks, and you don't want to talk to her, because of Jesus Christ. So what do you do? Anyway. Hurt.
Well, that's not always a bad thing. I don't have any family either, so I have family, but not people I consider family.
Mm-hmm.
I have other family. That actually one of them is someone I met on here. So, yeah.
Yay!
You need to surround yourself with the good people.
I consider you my friends, so that's sort of like family.
Yeah, but you're not family, Terry. You're just from down under. We would never consider you family. That's taking it too far.
Yeah, definitely. You and your Vegemite, man. Just
We like our Vegemite, don't we? Not
Australians automatically fall into the acquaintance category.
Yeah, but at least I can spell. Not your drinks Forex, but at least I can spell beer.
Oh, I don't know. As far as I know.
Anytime we'll teach you about cars and stuff, and you'll find out.
Don't get me and Peter started on it. We could do a whole hangout on cars, me and Peter.
There you are. Yeah, Jen, she says, we from the Buffalo area have antifreeze in our bloodstreams. I remember those days. I used to live in Cleveland on Lake Erie, and God, when you would get the north winds off the lake, it was horrible. But that was when I was younger, and I don't know, maybe that contributed to the antifreeze. I used to love winter. I loved the snow, the cold. I didn't mind. It's just, especially since that house, when I had no effective heat, no indoor plumbing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, it's almost like PTSD.
Have you seen snow, Notcher, down at Mount Kosciuszko? Down this way?
Oh man, never seen snow in my life.
Oh, you'll have to go down. You'll have to go down Mount
my.
Kosciuszko way one year.
That's blasphemy, isn't it?
No, he'll make it down there one day.
Oh, gotta see
Oh,
I'm very
man.
close.
But
I managed to.
In the 40s, Iowan was saying he was outside without a coat enjoying the sun. So many people I went grocery shopping earlier today, this afternoon, and there were the people in the shorts and the t-shirts, and I'm looking at them, and I'm in the full-length winter coat. Um, I didn't have to brace myself against the cold or anything, but I'm looking at them
What
and
the
I'm
wind
saying
dro-
I
what
can't do what they're doing.
what the wind dropped? The wind's dropped.
The winds did, yeah. The air was, for all intents and purposes, still today,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which was really really good. No, you had 25 mile an hour winds
Wow.
on Monday, with gusts up to Jesus fucking Christ, one of those. Um, it's been a long time since I'd had to put up with wind chills as low as we'd had. Well, these are some of the lowest temperatures this part of the country has had in a generation, 30 or 40 years.
That even I can see climate change has happened since I was going to school
Oh, yeah.
back in from the 60s and early 70s, and then till now. I can see the weather's different.
I'm thinking here, you're a bit younger than I am, are you not, Terry?
Yeah,
You're,
I'm in my late 50s.
Oh,
okay,
younger
I
the
was
snapper.
thinking you were a little younger than that. Okay, so we're not that far apart. I'm 61.
Yeah, remember I was saying I seen the moon landing when I was in primary school.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I've
Yeah.
forgotten you had said that. Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
So that places it.
Yeah. And then
Oh, Lord.
Peter's not far behind.
So your standing air was minus 15 on Thursday, and tomorrow it's supposed to be 50. Yeah. I think on Tuesday, here it's supposed to be 62 as a high.
That's not too bad. 60.
Well, remember it's still early February. Why are you having 62 degrees in early February? That's not air quotes normal. At least not when I was a girl. I'm actually getting used to saying it that way. By the way, I would have a habit of confusing people
Wait a
because when I
minute.
would speak of
Wait a minute. So you're not a girl now? You said when I was a girl.
A young
no,
girl.
I'm an
A
old
young girl.
lady now.
I don't give a damn. You're still a girl.
I would confuse some people because when I would speak of myself at the age of 10 or 11, yeah, back when I was a boy, and they'd look at me, what are you talking about? Um, it's becoming a bit more comfortable to refer to myself as of that time as a girl, just to reduce the confusion. Because I'm not one of those. I'm not one of the people who wants to destroy all evidence of my past.
No.
But I do understand how people get confused. So, you just roll with the flow. Well, thank
Like
you,
that too.
Brent. I am happy to have that. To have you all as a family. I really am. The only thing I wish, there's one thing I wish we could have. I would love to set up a horseshoe pitch out in front of the building, barbecue grill, have all of you over,
Oh, that'd
and
be great. Yeah.
we have chicken on the barbie, and we have beer, and whatever else, and have a hell of a good time. God, I'd love that.
Yeah. I would if we weren't landlocked. I'd drive over.
There you go. It's only what, 12,000 miles?
That wouldn't bother me. I like driving. I don't like flying.
I used to love to fly. Oh God, I loved flying. When I was younger, I lived in Cleveland, Ohio, and worked in a small town near Greensburg, South Carolina. And every week it was on Monday. I'd go to the office, pick up my plane ticket, fly down to South Carolina, work the week, fly back home on Friday, kiss the wife, rinse and repeat. And I must have put 30,000 miles on in the space of just a few months, just going back and forth. And unfortunately, the way things got after 9/11, and especially the way the TSA is today, and especially with my condition, if you want to put it that way, or my the way I am today, the stories that are told, the experiences people have had, especially trans women, of going through TSA and being subjected to some not nice treatment, I just would not fly anymore, and unless I were at the stick and rudder. And I don't have a pilot's license, so I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Damn it! Like I say, I loved it. I loved flying. Oh well.
I've only flown once from here up to where Notcher is, near there somewhere. One time. I think it was Brisbane. Yeah, Brisbane. Yeah, Brisbane. I went to Brisbane Airport from Coffs Harbour.
I've flown once and I never landed.
Oh.
So I jumped out of the plane.
A perfectly good airplane, and you jumped out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was shit scared though too. So I'm not really afraid of heights, but I'd never been in a plane, so I was really excited, and I was loving the view, and I was loving it all. I was just really nervous about it being in a little piece of tin flying through the air that's like just a little tin shed basically with wheels. That was a little bit worrying. But then when they open the door, it's like your whole body just goes, yeah, no, this isn't natural.
Yeah,
and, you know, my brain is going, this is awesome. My body was going, fuck this.
One thing that I've done, you need to try out. Loopings in a glider.
What in a glider? Loopings.
Yeah, I was going to ask Landon, where can you say where can I donate? What kind of donating are we talking about here? Anyway.
You know circles, Nadja, and those vertical, and then in the plane.
Jesus, dude. I can tell you're really into
I know I have to dumb it down for
looping.
But I didn't know
looping.
I had to dumb it down that
I didn't know looping was the technical term for it.
A loop to loop.
Yes. Man, when I was young, I'll say it again just to get myself used to it. Back when I was a girl, I wanted to fly, and when I say fly, I mean 100 nautical miles up.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to do the astronaut thing so much, but unfortunately, you had the glasses going, and at the time that didn't go with that, and
I'll have to get the footage now. I had my video camera when I did those. What do they call those things? The loops. Okay. So, but that's all still on analog camera, so it might be cool.
You can do it in a helicopter; it'd even be more cool.
No, so I've flown in a helicopter, but not a loop.
Oh, let me. Where do we have? I know what he's talking about.
Do everything to scare the hell out of us, but I just like it. I mean, it can't get crazy enough. When I was in the glider, the pilot decided, and I was in front because this was an instructor, and then you get to sit in front, and he decided it would be funny to go just straight down. And I was sitting in front with my camera. Can we do that again?
Oh man, one of the things I love about flying in a light plane is the way you feel that you are not moving when you roll or pitch. You feel like the outside world is doing all the moving. So you're doing a roll, and you're sitting up straight, and you're not moving, and the entire world is just turning around you. And that's beautiful.
If it's done correctly. So I did the loops with two separate pilots. One of them was the instructor. He could do that, and I could drink from a glass during that.
Oh, so he had the
centrifugal
G-force
force,
just
gravity.
right. Okay.
He could do that so you wouldn't even notice. You would look outside and the world was going upside down. And what the hell's going on? And you wouldn't feel a thing.
Well, if I was a flurfer, I'd say no, that can't be possible.
Now, what I was really lucky.
CGI.
I was really,
CGI,
really
yes,
lucky.
See, that was as far as I got to seeing Australia. I just saw it a few times during the loop-the-loops.
Back in about, I'm trying to remember, I think it was 84 or 85. My wife and I took a Thanksgiving trip to the desert Southwest. We went up to visit the Grand Canyon, and I was actually able to take the stick of a Cessna and flying through the Grand Canyon in the right-hand seat, actually controlling the plane. Oh, that was just, it was absolutely beautiful. I mean, something I will remember forever.
Well, that's the correct side to operate a vehicle in, isn't it, Notcher?
Say again?
I said that's the correct side of a vehicle to control it.
On the right.
Well, wait a minute now. Okay, I want to know. I think I know the answer, but I still want to know. Okay, you guys in a motor vehicle on the road, you guys are you're sitting in the right-hand seat while you're driving.
Yeah.
But in an aircraft, where does the pilot sit? Is it on the left?
It's international rules.
I thought.
So
I was wondering if that was it.
All
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was
What,
just
a
curious.
small plane?
Well, in a small plane, you can usually do either. It doesn't really matter, but that's still going to be the standard operating procedure would still be the same.
I mean, as far as that goes, when you're in an aircraft, most of the time the left and right-hand seats are pretty much the same anyway. But
I thought Cessnas and small planes like them only had the controls on one side.
The Cessnas I've flown had them on both sides.
I'm pretty sure you can have them removed.
Oh, okay.
But most of them will have them on, the sticks and stuff will be on both sides. All the controls are duplicated.
Yeah, because it's always nice to be able to have
one-seaters.
It's always nice to be able to have two people who can control the plane. If you're up at a couple thousand feet and something happened, because the reason I ended up at the controls when flying through the Grand Canyon, there were four of us in the Cessna. There was the pilot, there was myself, there was my wife, and there was a fourth person. This was Grand Canyon Airlines or Grand Canyon Airways or whatever, tourist flights. Guy's got a microphone. It really didn't need it because the Cessna's cabin was so small, but he's got the darn thing. He's got one hand on the yoke. He's holding the mic with the other hand. Keys the mic. And if you look over there, no hands on the yoke. The plane's doing one of these things, and I'm like, grab. What are you doing? And it was so nice that it was a Cessna because they're so very forgiving.
Yeah.
It's a high wing plane, so it's got the low center of gravity and the whole bit like this. Don't even try that in a low wing monoplane, okay? Don't even. But with the Cessna, it was just great for me to take the control and say, "Why did you do that? You could have told me, okay?"
And you could have done a loop. You could have done a loop-de-loop while you're at it.
There you go. Yeah. I would have had enough going on. I could have done a barrel roll. Oh, but gods, the view from within the canyon at say about.
Well,
say again.
How low I know the canyon's deep. Did you go right down in below the ground level of the?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Oh, okay.
We were at about, I would say, 2,500 feet, and the canyon itself is a mile deep. So we were actually, you could look up and see grade above you.
Right.
And God, the layers, the colors that are all stacked, and you're looking at this and you're realizing that this is, oh God, what is it? Is it 5 or 6 million or 50 or 60 million years?
I thought it was only 3,000.
Yeah, and the canyon was cut. The canyon was cut by a flood within 5 minutes. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
You remember Venom Fang X with his thing? 5 minutes, and it's like, oh, come on, really?
Yeah.
Diana,
Yes, dear. Yes.
I need to leave. We've got an hour, and I still need to
Yes.
grab something to eat and then get ready for everything that is
And
afoot.
I'm curious as to what the other people here are thinking, because we've got 4 of us who are going to end up on movie night.
Yeah, we can't stay
Did you
here.
guys just want to wind things down and let everybody get a bite to eat and let everybody in the side chat, do their thing? Because we've been on here for 3 hours.
Oh shit, that was quick.
Yeah.
It was a good 3 hours, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
We
Thank
talked.
you for
We
that.
talked about a lot.
Yeah, we couldn't get a word in edgewise, Snail.
I'd like to do live streams. I just get overwhelmed easily.
Well, I will say, for you here in the panel, for you over on the side, I would like to make a habit of these open chats. Maybe a topic doesn't have to be, because I know on the other live streams, like say Coffee with Lavender and that sort of thing, there are people asking about after shows and stuff like that. And I know, Peter, you and I were talking about that sort of thing, and I'm wondering if it isn't a better idea to simply have the open chats for a few hours, and then either we can just have the fun in the chats, or we can cut it up and put it on clips on the channel later. And what I'm basically doing is asking you folks out there in Lavender Ladyland, tell me what you think, and we'll go with it.
I like cultural and differences, like comparisons to different way people live in that compared to how we live or how we view things, whether it be politically or whatever, compared to other people. We don't, because I find that a lot of Americans don't understand how. Well, I don't know about everyone in the world, but even when I mention stuff about Australia, they go, "No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that."
Now, Jackson Heathen, you asked the question. Oh my, oh my, oh my! I put the link over on the side.
I know you're good at this, Diana, because you like to keep. You just go on, and I really need to drop off.
Yes, you go. You be good. You have fun. I'll talk to you probably in a half hour.
Yeah.
We'll catch you soon, Peter.
In a few.
Yep. Yeah, catch you soon, Pete.
Okay.
Have a good one, mate.
See you later. Bye-bye.
You take care, sweetie.
I'll be following along soon.
Jackson.
I was.
Strike, the person who does the whole movie night thing, has a beautiful way of describing movie night. He calls it a drinking show with a science problem. We look at videos made by some of the most stupid people on the planet about some of the most stupid things people can make videos about. We've recently done creationism, flat Earth. Guys, help me out here. What else do we have? Some of it's just total crap, and we'll watch the films, and when we see something egregiously wrong, we'll yell out "drink," and then explain why we yelled out "drink" while we're imbibing. And basically, what happens is a half-hour film. We can review this half-hour film in something on the order of 7 hours.
Well, I'd think of it also, in other basic words, is just debunking the stupid.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
With alcohol.
Oh, man, crypto.
Well, and I used to always put it as a science, what is it, a science show with a drinking problem. But
yeah,
no,
I like that one. Cy really did that well. Yeah, crypto, like
I'll have to get going too soon.
Jeranism. Yeah, why don't we?
We'll probably wrap it up then, eh?
So, guys, Nutjaw, what's your next thing going on in the interwebs?
I don't really know what's going to be next. I have a few little things going on, but I don't know what's actually going to come out first.
Okay.
It could be something gaming, it could be something debunking, it could be Ken Ham, it could be J Dubs, it could be a bit of anything.
Okay, fine.
You haven't
Just
had a
Keeping
live
y'all
chat
in
for-
suspense.
Yeah, just get your link out there, your channel link, and let everybody have a look at that. And how about you, Snail? What's up?
The 2 debunk videos, the short ones that I was talking about, on the response videos to that channel whose name I can't, Ravi something Ministries, and that one on morality and source of empathy and morals.
And by all means, get your channel link out there, or the video links if you have them. Please, by all means, on the side chat, throw that out there. Let's see, Nacha, you have a Patreon, don't you?
I do.
Throw that out there.
I'd love
Advertise.
to see some more
It's
people.
good to advertise.
Yeah. I also have a Discord which I've just recently started.
I have to sign up for that one. I don't know if I'm I don't know if I've joined that one yet. And Snail, do you have a Patreon?
No.
Okay. Terry,
no, I don't.
You have anything coming up or out? No, you're not going to do anything yet. Okay.
No, I don't have anything.
And then
I just make guest appearances on all these great shows.
Hey, why not? It's great to have you. Seriously. For all of you out there,
I am on Discord too.
This is a very good thing. It is a very good thing. It is a very good thing to be on Discord. What am I talking about? I have no idea. None at all. And as far as I'm concerned, yeah, my next little thing is, well, tonight I'm going to be on movie night, and then tomorrow, noon Eastern, is going to be Coffee with Lavender, and Neil 604 Atheist will be joining me, and we'll have a wonderful discussion about this, that, the other. Yeah, you can have this, you can have that. You've got to have the other. That makes the set. And there in the Lavender link over there is Coffee with Lavender link show and show link. Please come on by. Love to have you. Just bring some coffee. We'll have a hell of a lot of fun. And I'm going to thank every one of you for coming by. Seriously, you're wonderful people. Thank you on the panel, all of you who are here, and all of you who are not here. It's been great and wonderful, and here's to another wonderful year. How's that sound?
Yeah. Yep.
So,
yes,
okay.
have another good. Actually, you should have another good 5 years. Stop worrying about one. Go for 5.
Well, I'll have to stop every year to have an anniversary show. You know how that goes. And I'll run clips from the previous anniversary shows.
Oh, you'll have that up and running by then, you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. And to all of you, thanks a lot, troops. See you on the other side.
You too. Good night. Have fun at movie night, guys.